Hey, hey, I am back. I am back. Looks like my lighting is not so good. Whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna turn up the camera. I think. Hello, hello, hello. I think. Okay, Doug, if you're there, I will send the invite thing again. I apologize for earlier on. Okay, hell, okay, Doug. I've just put the link in the harmonica man. Hello. Yeah, this is just an open stream, just to have a conversation. That's the link over there. Harmonica man. Hello. Yes, so I've got my son at home today. My he's been called back home from school. Apparently he's been in contact with somebody who has tested positive for the virus. So he's doing his work on the computer, and I thought I might as well just come and the beauty about um, live streaming is you can stream at any point in time when you can stream. So why not? And if anybody wants to, Doug, you joined the last one, but I couldn't work that restream. I could not find the um, the tab that lets me add you on. No, I added you on, okay, but I could not find the tab that to allow you to speak. I couldn't find it. So yeah, I was talking about how I left religion and why. I was talking about the denominations of Christianity, because I was a Christian. I was born into Christianity. Um, you know, and the version of Christianity that I was born into is what you will consider Pentecostal. Speaking in tongues, and have you posted the link in private chat? I have posted the link. Have you seen it? Hello, Atheismo. Okay, you know what? Invite. Let's do it again. Can you see it? I've just posted it in the no link. Oh, Doug, can you see it? I've just posted it. I've just posted it in the chat. Oh, what's going on today? No link, no link. Yay. Atheist Mo managed to join. So, Doug, can you see it? Hey, Atheist Mo.
Hi.
Just hang on a second. I'm trying to get Doug
I gotta get a cup of coffee. It's morning time. I just woke up.
I know. Good morning.
Be right
waiting.
there.
Just waiting on Doug. Doug, can you see the link? Because Atheist Mo managed to join.
Okay, right there. That's enough coffee, right?
Is it black coffee?
I put a couple teaspoons of sugar in it. I can't drink it totally straight black. But
me turn
I don't
my
like milk.
let me turn
Milk.
my camera on so you can see what I'm drinking myself. Look, I've got my own coffee. It's a huge mug.
Yeah.
It's a huge mug.
Yeah. Surprised you on so early. Well, it's very early for me, but
What time is it? What time is it where you
8
are?
a.m. here.
What time?
8 a.m. here.
Oh goodness. Oh,
Oh,
Monday
I'm okay.
morning.
I've been awake for a little while.
Oh, okay, okay.
Uh,
I mean, so because my son is at home, it's messed up my Monday.
oh.
So I might as well come on the live stream and
What?
yeah,
He's home or
life
you
the
home?
life of a YouTuber.
Yeah, nice.
My coffee is ineffective so far. Is it, Harmonica Man? You can come and tell us about. Hey, I see dog. There we go. Hey
Hello.
dog.
Hello.
Now I can hear you.
That's better, yes.
So
Yeah, I
you
needed
know,
that restream. You needed to give me permission to open my mic up for some reason. I don't know why, but
I could not find anything. You know, so someone I know on here who uses Restream, and I like the way the Restream looks. It's not so basic, and so I thought I'll use it myself. I went on there. It was okay, but then when you joined, I could not find the button to um give you or could it be they sent it in an email or something? I don't know. I really don't know. But never mind. You're here now. That's what matters.
yes, hello.
Hello, and how is your Monday morning, afternoon going?
Yeah, it's okay, thank you. How about you?
Not too bad. Just I've got my son at home, so he's not in
Yeah, I
school.
heard you saying he's been hanging around with someone who tested positive
Yes. So he's got to isolate now um
in
till
2
next
weeks,
week.
isn't it? Yeah.
No, I think 10 days now. Is it 10 days? They give them 10 days now.
This your 12-year-old.
He's going to be 12 in a matter of
Oh, nice.
3 days.
Nice.
Maybe 12. They're grown so fast. So how was your weekend, both of you?
I'm still not working, so every day's the same. But I have been getting out and about, even though we've been getting rainstorms here, and it's really hot and humid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing much. I contributed to my channel a little bit. I made a few videos.
I saw some of the things that you've put out, and I'm still trying to. I'm going to check them out later on.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm going to check them out, of course. I like to. So because I've left religion, I like to engage in any conversations that talk about the Bible and breaking down contradictions
Yeah.
and the things that you need to, you know, there's things that there are things that I've found out about the Bible that when I was a Christian, I didn't know. I didn't, you know, there are pages, there are scriptures in the Bible that are so alien to me that when I was a Christian, why didn't I see those scriptures? Was it that I didn't see them? Or was it that I was blinded by faith or what?
Yep.
What do you reckon is the
Well, not many Christians know their Bibles very well. You'll find an atheist will know it a lot better because obviously they study it to debunk all the crap that's in it. It's things like the Old Testament, New Testament. They can't get rid of. They'd love to get rid of the Old Testament because it's just a vile book of death,
Yes.
destruction, and just a real horrible belligerent God. But they can't get rid of that because the whole moral code guidance is locked up in that book. From eating from the tree of knowledge all the way through to the 10 Commandments, which they abide by. So they have to. We were talking. Remember last time we were talking to Richard Madsen.
Yes.
Who said it was all metaphorics and all that, and he's a theist, and it wasn't metaphor. It was all rubbish.
When we were talking about
some
Noah's
of
Ark,
it is metaphor, some of it is metaphor and allegory and things like that. But a lot of it is literal. When he said water is people, then when you say the ark, it's a vessel. It's blatantly listed as a vessel, a boat to be built. So waters doesn't mean that. And if you read through John, the meaning of sword is sword. It's a weapon. But people will come up with their own interpretation or manipulation. Don't get me wrong, he was a clever bloke, and I do look at the Bible differently now. But you can't you can't wipe away the nonsense magic that the book holds.
Nonsense magic. I like the way you call it, nonsense magic.
Can I add something?
Yeah, go on.
In response to what he said, I'm not into character assassination or in someone's character. I don't even like mentioning people's names, but the Richard guy, I caught him in a bunch of lies. He's not quoting stuff correctly. And the waters, I look at my concordance, there's 278 references to waters. And not that I was going to read 278 verses, but waters into people, where is that? He doesn't give the verse to waters equals people. It's screwy dumb shit, I think.
No, it wasn't.
Don't get me wrong, Mo. I'm not assassinating him. I like Richard. He's a very nice bloke, a clever bloke. But I
don't like mentioning people's names or when I do my videos, I have like imaginary characters that I just don't. I never mention people's names in videos, but that particular guy, he seems to be a major apologist to me, and I'm an anti-apologist.
I understand. I understand both of you. I am not in the business to character assassinate anybody at all. But then there is the point where you have to ask those questions. What part of the Bible is allegory? What part is fiction? What part is real? And I personally don't like the idea of people trying to make excuses for the Bible. The Bible is it's not a good book. It's not a good book for anybody to leave their existence by. And in my opinion, Atheist Mo, you remember the other day when he was talking about the sea being people.
Yeah.
I don't buy it.
I was trying to study up on that, trying to find out what he was talking about. He never tells you the book, chapter, and verse.
Swords meaning Bible as well. He's another one.
Swords meaning Bible.
And we know there was no Bibles about in them days.
Well, no, I saw a meme that says nobody in the Bible had a Bible.
Correct.
Well, there was the Torah, but that, which is basically the Old Testament, Christianified sort of thing. But they believe in one God, and there's 90 odd gods mentioned in the Old Testament.
No one had the book form back then. No one had the book.
No, of course not. And when Jesus landed, he never condoned the Old Testament. In fact, he told his followers to follow the scriptures.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus did not come to abolish the law. Rather, he came to fulfill the law. He didn't come to tell them, don't do this, don't do it. Yeah. So his whole idea was to come and say, look, it is possible to it is possible to fulfill the law, I think it is impossible to fulfill the requirements of the Bible, the things that you're supposed to live by. I think it is impossible to live by the dictates of the Bible. It doesn't even tell you how to. That there's parts of life, existence, that the Bible doesn't tell you categorically what you should and shouldn't do. You're supposed to just guess how you should behave in such circumstances, and that's why everybody can interpret the Bible however they want. They can decide to say, this is what I think my Bible says I should do, or this is what I think the book is trying to say. It's like 40,000 denominations of Christianity. It's a joke. It's a joke.
Well, that's not unity, that's division.
And how can you pass a message when there's so much division? How can you what leg have you got to stand on when there's 40,000 versions of you? Come on. Some people believe. Some Christians don't even believe in hell. Some do. Some Christians believe when you die, you get to go to a place called what's that place called? The Catholics used to believe in this thing. Gosh,
Purgatory.
What's that? That's the one. Yes, you go to this
That's not mentioned in the Bible. I don't know.
Purgatory. And then some people believe when you die, you remain in the ground until when that trumpet. Listen, do you guys know about the rapture?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a American thing. That's not mentioned in scripture at all.
But we were taught when I was growing up, we were taught about the rapture. Honestly, I can tell you everything we were taught about what's going to happen with the rapture. So everybody's going to, we would, if you're still alive and the rapture happens. Now, you must understand that the whole idea of this rapture thing is that Jesus is coming back. He's coming back again to come and take his people home. So he has to come, and there's going to be this big, mighty trumpet. It's going to sound. Do, 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 do. Here comes Jesus to take his people, and then if you're a Christian and you identify as a Christian, then up you go. You're going to be taken up with Jesus into the sky, and you all go, right? Then I say we because I know I'm not going to be one of those. Anyway, the people remaining on earth are going to then be tortured, and they'll have a second chance to receive Christ. And if they don't, they'll be given the mark of the beast. And then they're going to be on earth for 7 years. After 7 years, I don't know what happens after the 7 years. But anyway, after all that drama, then we're going to face what they call the judgment day. And this is the day where all human beings that have lived on earth are going to stand in front of this big, large screen. So imagine the biggest TV screen you have ever seen.
Mhm.
We're going to stand there in front of this big, large screen, and our lives are going to be played on the screen. So everything it's like a blockbuster. We're going to be watching everything you've done in the secret is going to be shown on. You see, when I think about some of these stories, how I believed these things once, it's still a mystery to me. I still can't understand, and there are millions of people who still believe this crap. So, what do you guys think about this rapture story? For goodness sake,
It's
That's
ridiculous
nonsense, like
nonsense.
everything else.
sorry,
Hell
both
in
of
the
you.
Bible is Sheol.
Say that
Well,
again.
hell in Scripture is Sheol. It's a
Sheol,
Jewish
yes.
word. It means it's Sheol.
Mhm.
Sheol. It
Okay.
means grave or eternal nothingness. That's hell in Scripture.
Mhm.
The first mention of your fire and brimstone, lake of fire, hell was in the King James Bible, 1611, and that was based on the poetry of Dante, Inferno, with the 9 circles of hell, which ironically has 3 popes in it. In that poetry,
Oh gosh.
they've all gone to hell. The 3 popes. Pope Boniface the VIII had his
Mhm.
own level of hell, just to himself. And these 9 circles of hell worked their way all the way down to the center of the earth, where obviously it gets hotter and you're going to burn. And it was comedy poetry, which Dante was writing. He did a series of books, and Inferno was one of these books of poetry. And basically, your hell is based on that. It's just another fear mechanism.
Of course it is.
But they do make it up. I mean, they moved Jesus' birthday to coincide with Christmas, with a pagan holiday of Saturnalia. You know, they will manipulate and do whatever they want with the Bible. I mean, it's been rewritten so many times, and obviously there's 40,000 versions of Christianity that all believe different things.
Mhm.
It contradicts itself, to be honest. And you've got these young Earth creationists that believe it's 6,000 years old, and we lived among the dinosaurs, and it's all bollocks. It's all
Mhm.
absolute rubbish. And for any grown ass person to believe any of this is
Mm.
I mean, why does God and Jesus, why do they love money so much? You like to the likes of your Kent Hovind and your Ken Ham and your Kenneth Copeland and Robert Tilton and people like that. These televangelists and
Scam evangelist. A new word I learned a few days ago.
They're manipulating.
Scam evangelists.
They don't believe in what they're preaching. Of course
Their
they
mind
don't. They're
course
just
not.
in it for the money. They're just in it for the money.
Right.
It's an easy buck to make, and it's tax free.
Mhm.
So, I mean, good luck to them. If people
I
are
could probably
stupid
do it
enough to
myself.
pay them,
I could be a pastor myself, I'm sure. But my morals tell me I'm not going to be.
That's it.
I can't stand by this book. Can't do it. I'm opposed to the book.
but there you get your pastors like Greg Locke, who's gone all of a sudden. He's gone all
I saw him.
QAnon,
I saw him the other day.
all
He's threatening.
conspiracy theories and now.
He's threatening to sue people now.
Well, he should be sued because he called Oprah, Tom Hanks, and a few other celebrities paedophiles in one of his sermons, and he was filmed doing it.
I'm sorry, I'm talking at the same time you are. Go ahead.
And hopefully they'll sue him. I mean, Oprah's worth billions. I mean, I doubt Greg Locke will have the lawyers to cover her nonsense, and they should take him for every penny he's got. He's saying there's all these tunnels under the White House for sex trafficking and things like that through the Democrats and the Clinton and the Bidens. Basically, these cults that they call religion are just hate groups. That's all they are. They are hate groups.
That's what they are. You're quite right. They're cult groups, because the message that they spew, the things that they that come out of their mouths, it's divisive. It is divisive. Look at Greg Locke. He comes and he's spewing all these things. It's you've got to be on my side. It's about me. It's about what I'm preaching, and you've got to do it my way. And everybody who doesn't do it his way isn't doing the right thing. Everybody preaches their own how they see fit. They preach. Greg Locke, I think he's anti-vaccines, is he?
Yeah, anti. Let me add something here. That aren't there some kind of restrictions about spreading false information on YouTube? Like he's saying fake shit about how Trump really is the winner and COVID was all fake.
Oh, yes.
Facebook doesn't allow that crap. If they see shit like if you're going to post about Trump really is the winner, Trump really is the president, and all that COVID shit is fake, they're going to take your post down and or report you. What about the hate speech? Report the hate speech. I do that on YouTube sometimes to report the hate speech. How about that?
No, carry on, Doug.
I was just going to say I've got another day and a half of my 7-day Twitter ban to go. I can't even. I appealed it, but they did funny Twitter. They're just weirdos.
Your account on Twitter? Why?
Oh, there was this Kenyan guy who's just the biggest misogynist prick in the world.
What's his name?
I think he goes by Eric.
Okay.
He says women should not be used. You should not talk to women who use vulgar language like fuck or vagina. People are like, well, vagina is a medical term for a body part. What's vulgar about that? And you should not entertain any woman who's online after 10 p.m.
Really?
And all that nonsense. Yeah. So one of my friends put down there and put on there something like that. It's gone 10 p.m. now, so I'm not allowed to talk to anyone. And then she just put, feel free to put a sarcastic comment. And I put, yeah, you slut. I'm not talking to you now until. And I thought, oh, that misogynist Kenyan didn't put down when I can talk to you. He's such a cunt. And I got blocked. Yeah, I got a 7-day ban for that. And it was it was a joke. And I appealed it and said, look, your algorithm doesn't read context at all. It wasn't hate speech. It was banter.
Oh, okay. So the person you were responding to knew it was a joke, but then the
Yeah,
algorithm didn't.
I was obliging a sarcastic comment
Mm-hmm.
remark, which I gave, and she even gave me a like for it. But I had to delete it. I appealed it, but they upheld it, and I thought, yeah, you just said fuckers. Twitter.
Oh, well, I think you can't really. It's hard to be. You know, sometimes you think something and you want to put it in the chat, but then you have to think again and stop yourself. Don't let me do it, because if you do, it's easy to just get carried away and just type these things. You know, sometimes you're in a moment of anger or in your moment of you think, oh, I put this there, but then it comes back to bite you.
Facebook is a lot worse.
Hey, Mr.
Facebook
Mike
is a lot worse
Douglas,
than
the
Daniel
Afrocentric woman. Hello. We're just chatting, guys. We're just talking about leaving religion, and yeah, if any of you want to come and have the conversation, why not? Mike Douglas, I saw you the other day in someone's chat. I was trying to say hello, but I'm not sure. Let's see. Afrocentric woman, some of your videos have been, listen, fantastic. You are one woman I would listen to every day of the week. Sorry guys, I was just saw some people. And have you seen the comment on the top there? It says, I think the medical term for I think the medical term is actually Twinkle Cave.
I like Twinkle Cave.
That's
with
nice.
wet walls, with sticky walls.
That's funny.
Oh gosh. Oh, so Greg Locke, I can't stand him. Unfortunately, I don't know a lot about him, but I really cannot. I cannot stand preachers like that. I can't stand
He's a hateful
preachers
bully. He just yells at everybody.
I can't stand preachers like that. I just can't.
The only way he'll be nice to you and not yell if you agree with him. Otherwise, blah blah blah. You know. He when everyone who doesn't agree with him.
When they're done, they need your 10%. They need your money. It comes as a package.
Absolutely. And he supports God's second son, Trump.
Oh,
you know, he's a staunch Republican that buys into all the conspiracy and QAnon, and you get them all their machines were all fixed. And
I'd rather give.
What you say to them, them machines are now irrelevant because Trump ordered a hand count. So the machines are irrelevant now. They, you know, whether they were fixed or not, they've been counted by hand since, and you're still lost. So
I'd rather give 10% of my income to my weed man because I get something out of it.
At least you're getting something for your money, not giving it to the likes of Greg Locke and TD Jakes and Creflo Dollar and all the money. They all need for the money. That's what it is. It's not. There's no more or no less. They're just there for the money.
I think some pastors really don't believe the crap. They just know how to manipulate minds. And they'll use that book as mind control to fuck up your mind.
Yes, absolutely. I agree. Hello, Afrocentric woman and Mr. Mike Douglas. Hello, can you hear me?
Hello. Yes.
Hey, hello. The Afrocentric woman.
Hi, Afrocentric woman.
Hi, I know that you are just chatting, and I just wanted to take an opportunity to congratulate you, the African Humanist, for your channel and for what you're doing. I love your message. I've seen a lot of people in the atheism space be more evangelistic, and it seems like they're recruiting people into atheism as, you know, strongly as people are converting people into Christianity. But I see that you're really just providing the information and letting people decide what they want to do with that information. And that's noble.
Thank
Here,
you.
here.
Thank you. I think it is easy to, in my opinion, I think when you come out of the religion, you want everybody to come out as well. You think, oh, I've got to give this message. I've got to, but then I didn't come out of religion in one day. It wasn't a decision I made in one day. It was, over a period of time. It hasn't come easy, and it would be unfair, very unfair of myself to expect people to, just drop religion and that's it. Of course, there are good things about religion. Of course, some people find comfort in it, but then I want people to also just see that religion can be used to control. Religion can be used to make a mockery of people, and that's why some of my videos just highlights what can be done in the name of religion. I mean, a pastor turning his flock into sheep. Why? What's he trying to prove? So, but I do thank you, Afrocentric woman. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate the information and the consistency that you provide with sharing these videos. It's very important for people to be able to see. And I think especially from your perspective as a woman from Africa, because I'm African American and we are pretty religious, but I've seen African people put us to shame with the devotion that they have to the church. It seems like they want to be even more Christian than the original Christians. So I think that hearing it from your perspective will definitely help the global community take a look at what's been happening for the past few centuries with this doctrine. And I think that, we'll see a running theme that narcissists and psychopaths are particularly attracted to religion because it's an easy way to control people and provide consistent narcissistic supply from them. And a lot of the things that I talk about on my channel, as far as restoring order between how women should be treated, goes directly against most of these religious doctrines, which puts women in a subjugated place. So,
absolutely,
I feel it's working together because yes, we do need to teach women to know their worth. But if they constantly go back to a doctrine that's telling them that they are a rib or somehow inherently evil, because you wouldn't imagine how many times the African humanists that guys have come on my channel and told me that I'm the evil temptress with some type of apple or something. Like, they really use that shit today in 2021. So the religious piece, the religious freedom, like the mindset to understand that is, used to subjugate women is very important. So it's just one of the million reasons why I love your channel.
Thank you. And the plan is to carry on speaking and just hosting more live streams like this. And have you did say you wanted me to come on your channel, and I will whenever you're ready, and we'll have you speaking, because another thing which I need you to know is, I'm African, right? And you're African American. Now, the African religious space, Christianity, copy a lot of the things they do from the American counterparts. Yes. The likes of T.D. Jakes, the likes of Creflo Dollar, and what's his name now, Joel Osteen, all these men, they copy everything they're doing and more. So in a way, it is everything you're seeing is just they've copied, but then added their own beat to it. So that's why we need to be working together, and we need to be speaking on these things. I'm not one to say, oh, you're this race and you're that race. I just regard us as people, and that's why I call myself a humanist. I'm just out here to love people. I'm not one to segregate or to say, but then when I see what the damages of what religion is doing, especially the African people, how can you, someone can just pick up TD Jakes' books 1 week, read 1 week, 2 weeks, and automatically call themselves a pastor. And that's it. They start, they gather the first three, then 3 turns to 4, then 4 turns to 10, 10, 100. And then before you know it, that pastor has become a little demigod, and inflicting all these things on his people. And a space like this, and that's why I like a space like this, people from different walks of life. Look at Mr. Mike Douglas is here, Afrocentric Woman, you're here, Atheist Mo, Doug. If not for this space, where else would we meet to speak on these things,
Yes,
Too
absolutely.
bad you're in
And
the UK
Sorry?
because too bad you're in the UK because you being over there, I probably never personally meet you.
Mhm.
I love that we have this, and it's really cool. And thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
yeah, I was just going to say about the cultural background thing. I just think that there are going to be a segment of people that's going to be more receptive to your message, the African
Mhm.
humanists, because
Mhm.
they're going to feel like you can relate to their family story. They're going to feel more that they can relate to you,
Mhm.
because it's not going to look like, oh, it's the American or it's the British person telling me that my religion is bad and they're looking down on me. They're going to see it as like, oh, this is somebody that came up through a similar background as me. I'm just saying you may just be able to reach more people because of your unique background.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Mike Douglas, you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing good this morning. How about yourself?
I am good. It's afternoon over here. It's nearly 2 p.m. It's nearly 2 p.m. Yeah, so it's how are you doing? Were you in Lennon Honors chat yesterday? Afrocentric Woman, I saw you there.
Yeah, I was in there.
What were you?
Yeah, I was in there
Oh,
cutting
right,
up with
okay.
everybody else.
Oh wait, the Cookie Crush chat. Okay, so
Yeah.
Atheist Mo and Doug, I will let you know. So the Afrocentric Woman and Mr. Mike Douglas, we met in this. It's called the Cookie Crush chat. Interesting little space on the YouTube streets where so there's this gentleman called Umar, is a Dr. Umar Johnson, and people
You're being very generous with that title. But go ahead.
Yeah, the scammer. Yeah, the scammer. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's a group of us that believe he is a scammer, and some people think he isn't. He claims to be all these things that he is not. And there's a gentleman called Lean Honor. He's on YouTube, and so Umar Johnson does some very, very interesting videos, and we all just come together to review the madness. And so it's the Cookie Crush chat, and that's where we met. So
Cookie Crush chat. Is that can I search that on YouTube? Cookie Crush. Is that a
Oh, I'm
YouTube?
pretty sure if you
You
search
would
it on
find it.
YouTube, brother, it'll pop up.
Well, go to if you're interested to see the content, go to Lennon Honor.
Lennon
Search
Honor.
Lennon Honor.
Yeah.
On there,
Lennon Honor.
and then you'll
Lennon.
find his
He
content.
does pardon me for interrupting, Queen. He does amazing content outside of talking about this gentleman that we speaking about. Like he does like manhood training stuff, like how to take care of your family, relationship advice and stuff like that. He's very well rounded. He also does music, comedy. He's a
Yes.
very, very well rounded guy. So, but this particular individual, which is kind of funny that she brought up she brought up the Triple C, is that this dude Umar Johnson is I will say this, as somebody that is a writer, this gentleman is a great orator. He speaks
Mm.
very well. If you listen to him talk, you be like, oh, this guy's okay. Like he says some things that make a lot of sense. However, to tie it back into, because I came into the live stream late, to religion, he sounds like uh, a prosperity preacher. He kind of
Mr.
tells you like,
Mr.
if
He
you
Mr.
has a
if
lot
Mr.
in
you
Mike
common.
if
He has a lot in common with preachers. A lot. You're
Mr.
right.
Mike
yeah,
Douglas,
because,
Mr. Mike Douglas, can I interrupt you for 1 second?
yes, ma'am, of course.
So when I came to, when I started to find Umar Johnson's content online, he was talking about religion, some form of religion, spirituality, talking about the Ifa deity and what do you call it, the Pan Africanism, right?
Hmm.
So
Right.
he's talking about Ogun, Shango. He goes to these graves and he's doing libations and calling on ancestor Cicero and this person. And, now that's how I came across Umar Johnson. It's not Christianity, it's not Muslim, but then it's what you call the Ifa spiritual worship. That's
Hmm.
what he identifies with, but
Right.
he's doing it all wrong. Everything what he is doing and saying, him and what's that, Tiffany, and some of the things they come out with, I think this is just, it's ridiculous. 1 minute they can't decide whether they're for Christians or for the Muslim. It's all a mishmash of religion and the things that they believe. And so to say that Mike Douglas, what's his name, Umar, definitely talks about some form of religion, but then it's this spiritual worship, the Ifa deity worship. So he does talk on religion, but just that form of religion. It's all African, what he believes, all African orientated.
Well, when I
Well,
bring up oh, go ahead, brother.
I was just going to say, as soon as I hear spiritual, I just see woo. I
Yes,
see
it is
Reiki, aromatherapy, acupuncture, all of that
Hmm.
nonsense, healing crystals, and dream
I don't believe
catchers,
in a
and all
spirit.
of that rubbish that goes with what then copper bracelet, healing bracelets, and the copper bracelets, the magnets, and it is just nonsense.
The
But
thing that
people
I would say,
fall for it. They're good at advertising it, and they're good at selling it, and people buy these things and fall for it and go for it. And it
you
is
said
it,
you said the
it
perfect word. You said the perfect word, not to interrupt. You said the perfect word, marketing. As long as you can,
Mm,
as long as you can market something, there will be a percentage of people that will believe that and that will, obtain that product. And to speak to, you know, the African humanist, like when I was talking about Umar being similar to a prosperity preacher in the
mm-hmm.
United States, we have a lot of people, like you said, like Joel Osteen,
Oh,
uh,
yes.
like back in the day, like Creflo Dollar, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
They tell you that if you give X amount of dollars, then this is your ticket to, you know, get to heaven or get to this certain point in the afterlife, and you have to do this and you have to do that to get to this point. That's because they're good with their oratory. They're very good at speaking.
Mm-hmm.
And
absolutely.
when you can speaking is a form of marketing. If you can speak well, you can get anyone to believe anything. And that's where people like, Mr. Johnson are really, really good at. He knows that his speech, that his oratory skill is his best asset. So
Mm-hmm.
he can he can, if you ever watch one of his videos or something like that, he will talk about, like you said, like the African spirituality side of it and things of that nature. But then once he sucks you in, because like you have some type of, if he can speak enough to where he can get you to have some type of connection to whatever he's saying, then the next minute, like Lennon says, it automatically goes to money.
Yo,
Get on
yes.
this, go to
You hit,
this,
you
donate to
hit
this.
the nail. You
And
hit the
that's
nail
what
on the head.
prosperity preachers do.
You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, that's what prosperity preachers do. That's what prosperity preachers do. I can't remember the young lady's name. It's a Caucasian woman. She was like supposed to be like the ex-president. I don't say his name. The ex-president's spiritual advisor. I can't remember her name right now.
Which one?
And strike.
No, that's Kath. Who are you talking about? The one who was praying demons in Africa. The one who was praying for demons. Sorry, angels in Africa to come and fight for.
And it's a young lady, and she is like the most, like she has a good oratory ability, but just if my thing is, my dad always taught me, because he was in the military, like if you listen to people talk long enough, you can poke holes in anything that they say.
Absolutely.
So I can listen to a preacher, or I can listen to a rabbi, or I can listen to any other, like, whatever head religious figure that's running the church. I can poke holes in your argument if I listen long enough, because I'm actually listening to what you're saying. I'm not listening. I'm not hearing what you're saying. A lot of people, what they do is that they
Paula White. That's her name.
Paula
Her name
White.
is
Yeah,
Paula
there you
White.
go.
Yes.
Yeah. This lady is worth tens of millions of dollars. But she actually, I mean, if you want to take it to a religious level, and I know that on your last live stream I was on, we were talking about, how I left out of religion. I just became became spiritual. She actually, even on a religious level, she doesn't make any sense, because the things that she says don't equate. Because if you were in religion, whether you in it or not, like if you were in religion at any point and you actually did some heavy studying, everything that she says is flawed. And that's what a lot of those prosperity preachers, what we call them over here, like that's the problem. Like they're flawed. So they have thousands of people in their congregation, but that's thousands of people that are getting wrong information. Because if they actually sat down and took the time to study it themselves, they would realize, like, hey, this doesn't make any sense. So let me go ask the pastor, and the pastor will not have an answer for them. Because you can ask just very psychoanalytical, critical questions, and you can break down any pastor, any reverend, any rabbi, anybody that's delivering the interpretation of the text. You can break them down as long as you study it and you have an understanding of it. And it takes a very, 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 very sharp and dedicated mind to have the ability to be able to break down that text, because it's written, a lot of them are written in like Old English or written in Latin. So it's kind of hard to understand for most people. But if you can actually sit down and break down exactly what is being said, you will find out that a lot of what you've been taught, one, is incorrect. And then even inside the book, a lot of it is contradictory. So it makes you question everything, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely, makes perfect sense. But the trouble is, religion, they do not encourage you asking questions. They don't encourage you. You talked about poking holes. That's not encouraged at all. So how on earth are you going to get to the nitty-gritty if you can't even ask questions, if you can't even poke holes. You're supposed to just believe without question. That's what faith is about. Faith is
Right.
about, if I remember correctly, the definition of faith is believing in, the evidence of things, unseen.
Hope for,
Right.
which is unseen. Hope for and unseen.
Unseen, yes.
Absolutely.
Evidence of things hoped for, the evidence of things not
Things
seen.
not seen.
You hope
I can't
for it and you
remember.
don't see it. No, that's not strong.
Well, the doctrine is questionable. Yeah,
Mhm.
the dogma isn't. That should never be questioned. That's how it was seen in when I was growing up, and obviously all my studies against religion is towards the Roman Catholic Church, because they were the ones who hurt me. Fair enough, I'm going back over 42 years now, but I was still here for many years once I was expelled from my Catholic school, just for questioning the dogma and for upsetting the rest of the class or the rest of the students, because they wanted to ask questions. Because what I was saying made sense. It made absolute sense. And the Old Testament to all of these Christian religions is the same. It can't that can't be changed. But obviously, the Catholic version of the New Testament is different than the King James Bible. The Catholics believe in the Trinity and Pentecostal and all that crap that goes on, evangelism, and they all basically have the same doctrine and dogma, but they interpret it differently. So they don't agree with each other, which is if Christianity should be one thing, and it should stick at one thing, and they should all agree on it. But because they don't agree on it, they contradict each other.
Yeah.
It's just nonsense.
Hi, can I get
Go on, Mark.
Can I get a couple minutes, because I've been silent most of the stream because everyone's talking over me. No offense, but I wanted to say there's something that came to mind earlier. That who's that big white beard guy? He's not a big guy. He's an old white beard guy. He only died last year or the year before, and he used to debunk psychics.
What, James Randi?
Oh, James Randi.
Yeah. He would go after like the speaking in tongues people, the psychic people, the crystal people, and there's he was the master at debunking.
I think they said he was the one that placed an amount saying anybody who can provide evidence for their God or something like that, he was prepared to give it. Was it £1 million? Was it him?
$1 million, yeah.
$1 million, and nobody was able to come up and prove the existence of their God and claim this $1 million. That just goes to show, that religion is a lie.
It wasn't just religious people; it was psychics and
he did go after psychics and stuff.
But all he did was just apply logic to their nonsense. That's all he did.
Exactly. I did this when I was 6 years old, because when I was 6 years old, I just met you two gentlemen, but on her last live stream, I was telling the chat that I grew up in church, like one of those people that was like in church every single day of the week.
Mr. Mike Douglas, I please 1 second. I just want to say quickly because I realize the Afrocentric woman is still in the chat, but
Well, yes, ma'am.
just wanted to let her know. I would love for her. Me and her will hook up, and going forward. She was talking about women, and I've gone on her chat to see what she's trying to do, empowering women. I've come from a generation where women were taught that you are subservient. You are supposed to serve under your husband. You do not ask the questions in the church or in public. You ask
Mhm.
your husband. Religion has taught women to be waiting on the husbands or the men. And I would love for her to come on here and speak on empowering women, especially people who have left religion. If you've lived all your life looking up to your male figures for guidance and to how to do things, some people feel lost because they think they have to depend or to believe that the book tells you you have to, because the book tells you as a woman you've got to submit under the man, and the man is the head, and the man is the authority figure. Some people don't know how to challenge. How do we teach women that you can challenge things? A woman is in the home, the man is doing wrong, right? When I was in the marriage, right, I can see clearly he is doing wrong, but I was expected to shut up and just let him carry on because he is the man and he is supposed to be the head and not say anything. And in the end, guess who suffers? It's everyone in the family when he has done wrong, right? Everyone in the family has to pick up after him. So, the Afrocentric woman, and I can see what you're doing in the chat. Thank you very much. And so, just wanted to say that. So, I'm so sorry to have cut you off, Mr. Mike
Oh no,
Douglas.
it's okay.
Can you please carry on? Thank you.
Well, to kind of piggyback off of what you were saying, 90% of literally 90% of my family is women. My family
Mhm,
is really, really big, but a high majority of them are women.
mhm,
And what you were saying, my thing is, I grew up in literally a house full of women. My grandmother, my two sisters, my mom, my niece. So it's the way that you can change it is the first thing that people have to do is have to get out of it's an antiquated ideology. So you're taking old principles. People take old principles that do not apply to modern life.
mhm.
So if I'm a divorcee, but I was married for almost 7 years. I was with my wife for almost 12.
Oh,
We
wow.
never had that, and she's Catholic. We never had that ideology. We were just different.
Mm,
We didn't have that ideology. We was like, okay, everything is 50-50. We're equal. We're a people. Like, you don't have to answer to me. You don't have to answer to me. You don't have to ask me for permission to do anything because you're grown just like I am. You know how to make your own decisions just like I do. Anything that comes up, it can be discussed, it can be talked about. But I never like was raised to like assert authority over a female. That's just not the way that I that
mm.
I personally was brought up. So people use antiquated ideologies in today's world. That was cool. Like, I'm 38. That was cool when my mom was growing up or when my
It was
grandmother
never
was growing
it
up.
was never cool. It was
Not
never
cool. Not
cool
not not saying
at
cool
all.
as in it was. It
No,
was.
I
I
I
shouldn't say cool.
understand.
It
I
was accepted
understand.
in previous generations, but
I
when my
understand.
generation came along, no, it's not okay to think that way
I
because
listen.
you know
I understand what you're saying 100%, and I'm just going to just liken this to slavery in the Bible. I have heard Christians say, "Oh, during that time, slavery was regarded as okay." right? I've heard them say this, but they might think that. But for 1 second, stop and ask yourself, if slavery was regarded as okay during that era, do you think the slave in question, did they regard the treatment as okay? Did they regard
Right.
how they were feeling and how what they were put through? Do you think they regarded that as okay? And if they start to say no, but that's okay, would you like to have lived as one of those slaves? And you usually will get the answer no. So how and why do you think it was okay then? So just going back to what you were saying, right? You were saying about during that era, it might have been okay, maybe 40, 30 years ago, it might have been okay. You know, society perceived it as okay. But the people, the victims, they never regard it as okay. It is never okay. And that's one of the reasons that gentleman we're talking about, Umar Johnson, that's the message he's spreading. That he is teaching his people. The women are supposed to follow, and he's alpha male. I've never understood this whole alpha male and beta male nonsense. I just
No,
I don't
please,
agree.
please
I
let
don't
me say
agree.
something on this.
I don't agree with this
Please
whole.
let me say something.
I'm an alpha male. We alpha
Okay,
males.
first,
I just.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna make it very, very clear because it's two other gentlemen in the live. I'm gonna make it
Okay.
very clear. There is no such thing as an alpha, a beta,
Speak on
none
it.
of that.
Speak on
I
it.
do not.
Speak.
I do not subscribe. I do not subscribe to
Speak.
that.
Speak on it.
We are. They probably will agree. We are men first. We're not waking
Yes.
up in the morning like, hey, I'm the alpha male. I'm the one that I gotta dominate. No. We're waking up every day like, hey, I'm a man. This will come with being a man. This is what I'm going to do today. Nobody's
Mhm.
thinking about that. People that use those. I have a very, 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 very. How can I put it? I have a very, very uh pointed saying that I say all the time. I don't give titles to people. And what I
Mhm.
mean is, if you have a friend and just using you as an example, if you have a friend that's a female and y'all have been knowing each other for 20 years and y'all families know each other, y'all, shared experiences, heartbreak, everything, emotional stuff, most people be like, hey, that's my sister. Even though that's your
Yes.
friend, that's your sister, right? That's exactly what I mean. I don't give titles. So calling somebody an alpha, a beta, anything like that when it comes to, that's just a male superiority complex. Nobody cares about that. All they care about is
Well,
that, are you a man or not? And when
Mhm.
you use
Mhm.
the term a man, it's not talking about, you know, it's not talking about your gender. It's talking about like how you act and how you react to certain situations and how you carry yourself, how you conduct yourself.
well,
Nobody says that. Only people
there
that
is.
say that are very insecure and they have no idea who they actually are. They're just saying it, and they're just saying it because it's free to say, but they don't even
Mhm.
understand what
Mhm.
they're talking about. Leave it at
Well,
that.
other animals have alpha males, like silverback gorillas is an alpha male, and they'll fight off other males. Could we be? You would do anything to protect your family, wouldn't you, Mike? And
Mike?
protecting your family is all about being the
An
alpha
alpha
male.
male.
You
Exactly.
will protect your family.
Dominance.
But as far as women go, women are far superior than men. I mean, they can grow a human being inside them. That's amazing stuff. They can multitask. They're a lot more sympathetic, empathetic. They're better with money and they retain knowledge better. Over
Mhm.
there, you get
Mhm.
people like the transformed wife on Twitter. I don't know if you've heard of her.
I have heard of her, and let me tell you, whatever she's preaching, I don't like it at all.
She's
I don't
basically
like it.
teaching women to be subservient to men
Yes.
again, through like it was in biblical times. It's all which I think is rubbish. Women are awesome. Where would we be without them?
Well,
Women
the
will
Bible
not.
doesn't view it that way.
It
The
doesn't.
Bible is so
Unfortunately, the Bible doesn't. The Bible never even counted women at all. Didn't even regard women and
Well,
children.
they were second class. I mean, it's the same as yeah, well, you look at Islam. That is that's just as that is seriously misogynistic. The women are treated terrible. I mean, some of them guys will have 10 wives. They're really, these princes and whatnot with these oil-rich people. How would a woman feel there to,
Well,
go with the other?
In my country, we got the Amish and the Catholic nuns, and there's certain cults where they do have to wear long dresses to their ankles and show no skin and stuff, and always wear a hat, always cover your head, and there's like it's kind of like the way the country was in the 1800s, but they're still living that way.
But there's people that women now. They do have, especially like in the UK and in parts of America. They have these fail safes now. They have these social services, where they can cry out to. And even it was only this week. Did you read that? Esther was the youngest girl to ever give birth in the UK. She was 11 years old. So she was 10.
11. 11. Wait, hang on. 11 years old.
Yes, that was in the youngest in the UK.
Oh my
Not in the world.
No.
In the world.
You remember? Was it you Doug was telling us the last time about this person who had a baby at 13, or was it 12, 13?
Oh no, that was the girl in Peru. She was 5 when she had a baby.
Oh yeah, that 5. One. Yes, I remember. Yes.
But yes. That was in the 1930s.
Whoa! Did you say 5 like the number after 4?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh,
yes.
She was impregnated. She was impregnated at 4. She was impregnated at 4.
Who was it that impregnated her again?
I think it was her father or something.
Our father. I think it was her father.
That was in Peru. That was 1933. But this is this week.
I didn't think that was possible in a child's body. 5 years old.
I believe she was impregnated by her brother.
Which one? The 11-year-old.
Yeah, she was 10 at the time when she was impregnated. She was raped by her brother, basically.
My mom told us about this story once, where the country where she is from, Malawi. My mom was from Malawi, so she said there was this really rich man, right? He had 2 children, a boy and a girl, and he didn't want his children mixing with other children in the area, and so he'll keep his children at home. You provide everything, but no, he didn't want them mixing with other people. He didn't want them to turn out bad, and and before you know it, the young girl, she's pregnant. Who's impregnated you? It's her brother. And it was funny because the very thing he didn't want to happen happened right inside his home. Brother sat sleeping with, these things actually go on in a lot of places. The brothers, take advantage of the little girls in the house. I've heard about the story recently. The Doggers, have you heard about the Dogger family?
Yes.
Did you know
Mhm.
about the Duggar family?
You got
17.
21
There was
kids.
a program they did 17 and counting or something like that on
They got
TLC.
20.
Yeah.
Is it? They had a program. 17, about 17 children. They had. Was it that one? I
Mhm.
can't remember. Anyway, they were on TLC, and turns out one of the brothers was doing his thing with his sisters in the home. And this guy, they all covered this thing up, and now he's gone on to, he's married now with kids, but he's been found to be, he was in the news recently for, what was it now? He was sleeping with prostitutes, and then molestation of some kind. I need to go and look in that story. But these things are happening, and I don't know. You guys speak on it. I don't know what to say no more.
I haven't
See, this is
studied into that too much.
Okay.
my thing about that is just like I said on your last live stream that I joined in on. I'm very averse to things like that because it happened to my family and it happened
Oh
to
yes, you told us that
my niece,
story.
and it caused her to not be here anymore. So I'm very averse to stuff like that because first of all, you can do whatever people can do whatever they want, but that in itself is disgusting on so many levels. And second, like you can't no, if nobody ever if nobody ever addresses it, you that is, you're breeding a predator because that person thinks that is okay, and that person's mentality, they will pass that whether directly or indirectly to their children when they have children, like, hey, it's okay to do this, when that is definitely not okay. Like I don't understand how we live in a world as people where that is still okay, because historically, to be honest, that was not uncommon back in the 13th, 14th, 15th century. Like, people actually did that. That's not okay now. So why would you think that that is okay to do, and then nobody says anything? And I'm pretty sure that if somebody else found out about it, who inside of that home, somebody already knew about it and they didn't do anything about it, they didn't say anything. And that's more disgusting than the actual act. It's because you let it happen. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't, like I said again, like, it go back to what I was saying earlier, just antiquated ideologies. Like, people think that certain stuff is okay, and you can't apply those rules to the rules of the world now, because the rules always change. My dad told me that too. The rules always change. The rules never stay the same. I'll use a sports analogy. I love basketball. When I grew up, it was okay to what they call hand check people, to put your hands on people, to stop them from moving, or it was okay to get a little rough and physical. Now, if you blink wrong, they'll throw you out of the game. The rules have changed, so you have to adapt to the rules. The rules of life now are way different, because I can go on and on about this, especially like when it comes to women. I'm a big women's advocate, but there's a lot of stuff that I see in this world when it comes to women that I don't like. I shouldn't be able to go on my YouTube page and then every other picture that I see is just a female, showing, I'll say it in a polite way, showing off her goodies to the world. I don't like that.
So you don't want two wives then, Mr. Mike Douglas?
No. I first of all, I'm gonna say this. Why you made me laugh? I was trying to be serious. First of all, I have a rule. my mom and my dad were both married 3 times. I don't have time. I personally never was the one to have time to deal with multiple women at one time. It's just too much work. It's not because of the women. It's just too much work. It's just too much stuff that I have to think
But
about.
Solomon
So
in the Bible had 1,000 of them.
yeah, good luck to that. Good luck to that brother, because I don't know how he did it. I have no idea how he did it, but
I don't
that
believe.
I
I
couldn't have
don't
been
believe.
him because
I don't believe that
one
story.
is one person at a time. That's it. One female at a time, and I'm okay with just that one female. And if I'm not with nobody, I'm by myself and I'm improving myself so that
I see.
find the woman that's right for me. I don't have time to talk to like 3-4 different women. I never been like that.
Okay.
And according to men that I know, I am a actual weirdo because they like, man, you only talk to one girl at a time? That's crazy. How?
You're a
Yeah.
weirdo for doing that.
How? I don't. I'm trying to figure it out too. I don't understand how
Okay.
it's weird. It's not weird to me because if I'm not with nobody, then I'm just not with nobody. I will continue to go through life, and take care of my daughter. And I already had to deal with my ex-wife, who is the mother of my children. Like, I don't have time to be dealing with 3-4 different women. It's just too much going on for me. So I don't
Let me
understand how Umar won 2 wives when
listen.
he can't even get the school built after he done collected all this money. Because if I collected that much money, if I collected that much money, my daughter will be living in a mansion right now.
You can say
Look,
that again.
no,
So
I
let me
can't do
let
it.
me
Like
let me ask Atheist Mo and Doug. Do you think it's possible to have 1,000 wives, 1,000 women, 700 wives, and 300 concubines?
I would think when I was married, I know when I was married, me and my wife were very busy at that hobby. We could have done more than
busy at what? Busy at what? Drinking. What was he busy
with one
doing?
woman, I probably had it over 1,000 times, but
Okay.
I'm
just teasing. I was teasing, Atheist Mo. It's okay. I understand.
I
like how you put
my
that.
lifetime, maybe a dozen or so, but no, not the 1,000 thing. You'd have to look to like a porn star like Ron Jeremy. You think?
Apparently, he was a man of wisdom. You see, 1,000 women. He was the man of wisdom in the Bible. Doug, I'm sure Doug can handle 1,000 women. I know Doug. He can handle 1,000 women. Doug?
Not at once. 500 maybe. No, you've got it's like these Muslim martyrs, and they get promised 72 virgins.
Oh,
what the fuck are you going to do with 72 virgins?
You know what?
What if they all like the same band and whatnot? You 72 women in your ear? No, you can't please 72 women, especially 1,000.
What about when you do every one of them? Are they spoiled then because they're no longer virgins now? Or you have ownership?
I see what you did there. Yeah.
Okay, so but if the men get 72 virgins, what do the women get? I have to fight for women's rights here. So if I'm a Muslim and the men, when they die, they get 72 virgins when they get to heaven, what am I going to get when I get to heaven as a Muslim woman?
You're going to get to sit there with 71 women
and watch,
waiting for this martyr to fuck you.
Hey, that's
basically.
Esther,
a gift basket and some fruit. That's what.
They
don't
might
think
give
you're
you,
a
I don't know, they might give you a puzzle book or something.
I'll watch. I
While you're waiting,
mind.
you can do a crossword or something.
I don't mind watching them. I mean, why not?
Wait a minute.
I will watch. Yeah, of course. Why not? I've got eyes for a reason. You
Well,
think I got
you know,
eyes just
This
to?
is-
well, if you look at it in biblical times,
Mhm.
especially like Solomon was the Old Testament, that was Jewish. It's basically the Torah, and the Orthodox Jews back then. Well, even now, the Orthodox Jews now treat their women
Mhm.
appallingly. They treat their women terribly. It's basically they cover their bodies in a sheet. I mean,
Right.
their whole body, head to toe,
Oh,
Mhm.
and it's just a hole where the vagina is. The man hops on, hops off.
Oh,
what?
No pleasure for the woman. He just gets on,
okay.
does his bit, get on. It's purely for
Is this what religion?
procreation.
What religion?
Now,
What religion? What religion are you talking about?
This is Orthodox Jewish.
Jewish.
These are
Yes.
the
Yeah.
Yes.
these are the ones that give Mitzvah Beh, which we talked about this, which is
Mhm.
basically baby's first blowjob off the rabbi when they suck
Whoa.
the circumcision wound.
Oh no, we've talked about that. Oh,
It's Orthodox
gosh.
Jewish.
Mm.
When a Jewish woman, an Orthodox Jewish woman, is on her period, she's locked
Mhm.
If I
away
may,
for a week. She's basically locked away for a
Oh,
week
Goodness gracious me.
because
if I
she's
may pose a
unclean.
question,
Please ask your question, Mr. Mike.
if I may pose a question,
Go
since
on.
we're talking about so the first question is, all of us that are on this chat, we have left religion. Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. Okay. So now I have some critical questions about certain stuff that I was taught growing up a Baptist Christian. First of all, they had no concept of time. So how do you live to be like 1100 years old? I still trying to figure this out. Can
Wait,
somebody help me?
what do you mean? I don't understand the question.
Because
Who
in the Bible, specifically the King James version of the Bible, people live to be like 980 years old, 1,000 years
Mo-
old, but they had no concept of time. So how did you live to be that old? I'm trying to figure this out.
Who was counting? Who was counting the years? If they didn't have the concept of time, who decided how many years old they were?
Same thing that I say.
That's a good question.
Same thing that I say. I have the ultimate question for anybody that is religious, or that is, agnostic, or that is atheist. I just have one question. Okay, if you are a religious person, we just gonna use Christianity because that's all I can base my experience off of. They said that the earth was without void and God created the earth in 7 days. Okay, but then you have people that use science and say all this gas was around, it all got together, combusted, and boom, the planets was formed and the stars and all that. I have one single question. Where did the gas come from? That's all I want to know. Where did all this stuff come from? Where did the gas come from? I'm talking specifically about people that use science, though, because it always baffled my mind that it was like, yeah, the Big Bang Theory and everything. I was like, okay, but where did the gas come from? It just wasn't there.
Nobody knows.
The honest answer is we don't know.
Yes, there are questions that we will never know the answer to, and I'm happy with that. I'm happy to live my life not knowing exactly.
But do you know that if you ask somebody that question, it will confuse the hell out of them because they try to figure out a way to answer it. And like you said, it's an unanswerable question. We don't know. Nobody knows. So why are you forcing yourself to answer this question? Don't answer it. Just like, hey, I don't know where it came from, but that's what
And
listen,
that's
this
that's
theory.
that's what religion is. Religion is just people trying to answer questions that they have, right? They come up with these things. We think this is going to happen after we die. There's going to be a place for good people. There's going to be a place for bad people.
Right.
Just answering those questions. And the bad thing is they then turn around and make it look like they are factual, right? They've tried to answer the
Right.
question as best as they can, right? A lot of it is assumptions, but then they turn around and say, God told me, or God spoke to me. The Bible says most of the books are inspired by God. So instead of saying this is what we think, this is what we assume will happen, no, but God said it or God inspired it, and this is where the problem lies, because some questions we will never get the answer to. We might.
Oh, I think they will.
Science is in the business of answering a lot of the questions that we have, right? So
Everyone's
some
got this
answers.
debate about the beginning. What if there is no beginning, there is no end? How can you explain either or?
Facts. That's a fact.
You know something, right? So I'm an atheist, right? But then I haven't got this, the Big Bang Theory. If you ask me
Mhm.
questions about the Big Bang, I couldn't possibly tell you, because that's a new concept to me. That's something that I'm still trying to figure out myself. And it's not everything that I agree with. Not when I say agree, it's not everything that makes sense to me. Right?
Well,
They've come
it's
up with this
basically
theory.
measured. Esther, it's basically measured using cosmic background noise, which is dissipating as we speak. It's dissipating as we speak. It's getting quieter and quieter. So they can basically trace that back to its fullest, and they're getting within a couple of million years of when the Big Bang was, or when they believe what was the Big Bang, which is the best explanation we have for the beginning of the universe. It was dense, it was compact, and it heated up, and obviously these they say the Higgs boson in it. You can't create or destroy energy. So the energy was already there.
Science says that the whole universe could be 13.8 billion years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
Watch Matt Dillahunty on Atheist Experience. He will tell every caller, I just don't know what happened before the Big Bang. I just don't know. That's the only answer we have. We don't know.
That goes back to what I was saying previously. Like you gave the number that allegedly that the universe is 13.8 billion years old. Who was counting the time though? There was no See, what we talked about in the last live stream, what I brought up was that everything is a construct. Government is a construct. Society is a construct. Religion is a construct. Everything is formulated. Everything is put into some type of formula to construct it to make it make sense to somebody that's not open-minded. Now we're all open-minded people here. So asking a critical question about, okay, how did you come up with this number? What evidence do you have to justify this number? And what evidence do you have to say that I have? You remember when we were little and we did science projects in school, and you had to come up with your hypothesis, and you had to come up with your method, and then you had to come up with your conclusion. That is the basic premise of science. So if you're telling me this, okay, you're hypothesizing that this is the number. Okay, so what is the method that you came up with? And then what is the conclusion? The part that is skipped in the whole thing is the actual process of going through the method. There is no method to figure out what is how can I put it? What is factual and what is not. For example, my favorite movie in the world is The Matrix. Okay. Now, the reason I like The Matrix is because the premise of the movie is very simple. Everything that is real is not real.
There's
If you've never
solipsism,
seen
isn't
the
it?
movie, that's exactly how I look at everything now. So you're telling, if you're not you specifically, but like if someone throws that figure out there, your hypothesis is that this is how old it is. Okay, well, what's the method that you came up with to figure this out, and then give me your conclusion? They can give you the
Well,
hypothesis and the conclusion, but the
no,
method part is completely
they,
skipped.
Mike,
Because it's like
they had calendars back
like
then.
the queen said, it's no way to answer that question because none of us are 13.8 billion years old. So we
Yeah,
would
but
have to talk to somebody that was around then
I
to
was
figure out the answer.
I was
even in the
notating
Bronze Age,
what science says, not what I say. It's what science says. That's I study
Right.
up on I don't know how am I supposed to know? I'm not a scientist. I go by what I hear from science.
Yeah, no, I'm not specifically like, I apologize if it came off that way. I'm not specifically focusing on you. I'm just saying that in general, the logic of it is that what is the method that someone can figure out that this is the conclusion to their hypothesis? If we just using basic science, like, it's no way that I can, me personally, it's no way that I can listen to somebody tell me something and they say, hey, I know that this fossil is 1,000,000 years old. Okay, what is the method? How did you figure out that it came to 1,000,000? And then your conclusion is it's over 1,000,000 years old. But you can't give me the method. You can't tell me exactly what you did to figure this out. Because every day when you walk around, you do scientific stuff. If you walking down the street, for example, you can walk down the street at, sunset and be like, hey, I'm walking down the street. I see 3 guys over here. I see a couple little kids playing. I see this. My hypothesis is that there is there's one of these people may or may not do something wrong to me. But you still have a method in the middle. Look at each individual. You watch their body language. You see what they're doing, and then you come to the conclusion: oh, this is a safe area. I can proceed forward. You use science all the time, but when it comes to religion, when it comes to evolution, there's always that missing part, which is the method. How did you what did you do to figure this out? And if you can't explain to me, I'm a very logical thinker. If you can't explain to me how you figured it out, then everything that you're telling me really holds no water. It holds no weight because I'm inquisitive. I want to know, what did you do to figure this out and come to this particular
Conclusion.
conclusion?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, and I don't think that, me being me being away from religion for, almost 20 years now, I don't think that that's not
Wow,
a
20 years.
illogical thing to be, irrational thing to
to
think.
say or to
Yeah,
I
to say or to
agree.
think.
I
When I'm
agree
when
with
I'm
you.
when I'm encountering other people and I'm having a discussion about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the problem is when when logic when emotions are high, especially when it comes to religion, when emotions are high, your logic is really low. So
Mm.
I'm the exact opposite. My logic always stays high. My emotions stay low when I have these
Stay in
conversations
check.
because all I'm doing is
Mm.
asking questions. Now, if
Mm-hmm.
it
Mm-hmm.
upsets you or makes you mad or makes you feel uncomfortable, then if you say, "Hey, I don't want to have this conversation right now," the conversation is over. But if
Mm-hmm.
we're going to engage in that particular dialogue, you're going to have to explain to me how you come up with your conclusion.
Yes. Yes.
It has to be a
Of course.
method for you to come to a
What
conclusion.
you've used.
Or you're just, like we say in my family, or you're just talking because it's free. That's what you, that's what you're doing. You're talking because it's free, because you're not given a logical explanation to support your ideology or your argument,
Mm-hmm.
because it has to be a method. It has to be.
Yeah.
If
Hello,
So I didn't mean
hello,
to go off on a
Marshall.
tangent. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
well,
We've got
Mike,
we've
You
got
know,
someone, Marshall. Hey, Marshall.
Hey, how are you doing? If my audio hasn't been working very well, experience if it's not about
Your we can hardly hear you. It keeps breaking, Marshall. We didn't hear well
okay.
what you said.
Can I butt in and just say bye? I got things to do
Oh,
now.
okay. All right,
see you,
Atismo.
Bob.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye.
nice to
Thanks
meet
for
you, brother.
coming, Atismo.
Mike, can I just obviously science is irrefutable.
Mm-hmm.
Million-year-old bones, we can date them and tell you that
Right,
they're
right,
million
right.
years old. Big Bang, we assume it. Well, we presume that's how it started. A
Mm-hmm.
massive heat expansion of the universe from
Mm-hmm.
a certain area or point, and we measure that on cosmic background noise. Back in Bronze Age, they knew seasons, they knew calendars. Stonehenge in the UK, for example, in
Mm-hmm.
Salisbury, is over 5,000 years old. Some people say it could be up to 10,000 years old, and that can
Right,
and that structure can accurately predict eclipses even now.
right.
So when you do see the biblical stuff, the 900-year-old men and stuff like that, it's absolute bollocks. It's nonsense.
Absolute bollocks. I agree. I
It,
agree. Absolute bollocks.
it's not a concept of time, because they had a concept of time. There was only 10 months in the calendar then,
Oh,
but they
really?
had.
Right.
Oh, really?
But they
Hey,
knew
Yeah.
they
Taylor.
knew a day. They knew day from night, and they knew there was 365 days
I do.
in the
Yeah.
year. They knew all of this.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Just
We
Just 1 second, guys. Monkey for Banana says, oh, hang on. The African human. Unfortunately, my internet connection isn't strong. Oh, because she is it a
Oh.
she? Oh, he looks like a she. I really don't know. She said that she wanted to explain how dating works, and I would love to hear that conversation. Because
Absolutely.
being a new atheist, fairly new, I consider myself a fairly new atheist. These are some of the conversations I would love to have. What are the processes? And I really don't know much about evolution, how all that works, and dating of the planets, and these are some of the conversations which it's good to hear them. Why not?
well,
Mhm.
this is the illogical
Hello,
thinking
hello,
of the
Michaela.
theist.
Hello, Michaela.
Hello, how are
Hey,
you?
baby. How are you? No, I didn't mean that in the bad way. I'm just, hello, darling. Don't
This
let
is
me
the
be too
illogical thinking
rude.
of Michaela, sorry, of the theist, where they can't understand things like parallel evolution. They'll say,
Mhm.
"Oh, we've still got monkeys, we've still got
Mhm.
apes, and we've still got chimpanzees.
Someone's toilet is going. Who's this? someone was flushing a toilet. If you're not speaking, just mute the mic.
And
Please.
we're
Well,
like,
I don't mean to interrupt you, brother, but what I was saying, I know I went off into a little tangent, but what I was saying, like, it all kind of ties back to, what the Queen was saying about,
Esther. My name's
the
Esther.
oh, yes, ma'am. I'm sorry, I'm very polite. What
Yes,
Esther
okay.
was
Just my
saying,
name's Esther. Yes.
yeah, what Esther was saying, it what I was ranting about, like, it all kind of ties back into just the religious conversation, just because, like, it's like she said, it's unanswerable questions that you can ask, and you can't, and nobody is going to be able to tell you what you want to hear, because as
Mm-hmm.
humans, we're naturally inquisitive. We want to
we
learn.
want evidence. You want evidence, and
Right, you want
and
you want evidence, and it's not that I'm going against any
religion's
other
never
evidence
supplied
that's
any
out there.
ever.
I don't want to go against any other evidence that's out there. I just, like I said, we're human. We're naturally inquisitive. We want to know because you want to have a definitive answer, and when you can't get a definitive answer, all it does is spawn more questions. Because you're just going to keep asking questions until you get to your definitive answer.
Yeah.
If that
Peace and
makes any
respect.
sense.
And
Peace and respect, everyone.
that's how hello, Richard, and that's how I've become an atheist. When I started asking the questions, right, of religion, of Christianity, the more questions I asked, there weren't any answers, and the more questions
Right.
arose, and more questions, and more questions, and I decided, look, if this religion is so problematic, then what's the point? Everywhere you go is a different answer. The ones who even tried to answer the question, they made a really bad job of answering the questions. So what's the
Well,
point?
yeah, apologetics will try and baffle you with philosophy, and
If I could, I don't have very long, but
give me some evidence. Don't try and baffle me with philosophy.
if I could, I'm sorry, guys, I don't have very long. I have to get off, but you guys asked a question, and I thought that I might come in and help answer to how radiometric dating is performed, or perhaps that wasn't even what you meant. You only meant it as an example, or was that really something you wanted to know?
Oh no, dating. Someone wanted to come and tell us how dating is done. And
they measure carbon-14, don't they? And that only goes back to so many thousand years.
Well, that
and then
if you don't mind me saying so, Dog, that doesn't explain how it works. That's an example of one radiometric dating method, but that doesn't explain. Did you guys want to know how it worked, or?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, tell us.
Okay, so here's how it basically works. It's completely random when radiation comes off of certain materials, but there is an average, and you can say so much comes off in so much amount of time. In the case of carbon-14, it will dissipate on average half of the total radiation in 5,730 years. So that half of it's gone is called a half-life for that reason. Right. Okay. Half-life. So then, well, you have a half, right? And then you have a half of the half, then you have a half of the half. So at some point, there's so little radiation coming off of it that we say it's inert, and we don't have measurement for that after that. Okay. So that's why there's a limit. So we can right now measure 11 iterations of half-lives of carbon-14. So that ends up something around 60,000 years. Okay. See how that works?
Okay.
Right. So,
Richard. So
yes.
you are a theist.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're a believer of some kind. Now, So would you what do you agree as what would you say is the age of the world we live in? Do you agree it's about 6,000 years old, or
Well,
you agree it's the how many? That's 13 million. Is it million?
hold on.
13.8 billion.
Okay.
There's
so
a
which of those would you?
Well,
would you agree
well, the world we live on is about 4 billion years old.
Wow.
well
No.
the basic argument here between the religious and the scientific on the age of the earth is based in them calculating the age of the planet as the age of human beings on it. Okay, that's what they base that in. Unfortunately, they are reading this lineage of people as if it's supposed to be like their physical ages, when those numbers that are given for ages, and Methuselah especially, those numbers that are given are representative. Those numbers mean things. They're not just numbers. Like the number 7 represents perfection. The number 8 represents over perfection or fatness. They say fatness. The number 9 suggests that you're moving on to the next thing. And the number 10 is the highest number. So when the Christians calculate the ages, they're looking at those numbers in the wrong way. They're not supposed to be the ages of people. They're not supposed to be the ages of people.
I
That's not what
understand
it means.
I understand exactly what Richard is saying. I understand exactly what he's saying.
It's just like dog years, right?
Well,
when you count,
not like dog years. Not at all. Like nothing.
What I mean is, when they count dog years, it's not the same as when you count human years.
No.
Is that the sort of thing you're talking about?
I'll give an example. One of them lived to 777. I understand. One of them lived to 777 years. Okay, that's in the text. The number 777 means perfect, like saying perfect 3 times. It means he led a perfect life. It doesn't mean he lived 777 years at all.
7 years, right?
So that's what you're talking about is numerology. When they talk about the numbers meaning different things. I personally don't believe in all that stuff.
One of them lived exactly 365 years. What is it? Do you recognize the number 365?
That's 1 year.
In the calendar.
Right. It's a year of years.
It's a year of years. Yeah.
That's what it means. It means he lived a year of years. It's representative of something. It's not you can't add the numbers together. It doesn't work.
Okay, so I asked you a question.
So technically he lived to be 1.
I asked you a question, and I'm waiting for the answer to the question. What do you think is
I'm still trying to give it.
The age of the world we live in?
It's probably something around 3 billion years. But
okay.
But the Bible doesn't even talk about the age of the planet. What the Bible says is that they found an existent planet and reformed it or changed it. The word create right there does not mean to create without anything to start with. And then it goes on to describe that the place already existed. It was just missing differentiation and atmosphere and things like that. It was just a dry planet.
Mr. Richard, may I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
So I understand exactly everything that you're saying because I'm big into numerology.
Yes,
I understand exactly what you're saying. However, when you talk about text, now you said it was the way that the text is written, that it was an existent planet. But the first 2 verses in Genesis says that the world was without void. So is that are you reading into the text as when they say without void, meaning that there was already something here? Or does that mean that the world wasn't?
I'm afraid I'm out of time, but I understand your question.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. I'm so horribly impatient. I'm just kind of pushed right now for time. But if I could answer that just really quickly.
Yes, sir.
If you did a direct translation without the tradition, this is what you'd literally end up with. Genesis 1:1. In the beginning of what concerns you, powerful angels reformed the sky and the planet. The planet was without geographic area distinctions and void of life, and no atmosphere to refract light. So darkness was upon the face of deep space.
Yeah, that's just an interpretation, Richard.
No,
I don't buy
sir.
that at all.
Sir, you can say that all you want. This is a direct word for word without presupposition. That's what I just read you.
From where?
From
Where's your
actual
source?
words,
From
the
where?
Hebrew. There are approved Hebrew source, you know.
Hebrew.
But we're talking Christianity, though, aren't we? Not.
I don't know why you're saying
Hebrew.
that. What do you mean we're talking Christianity? This is Torah.
God
It's the first lines of the Torah.
God created
Right.
the heaven and the earth. This and that.
It doesn't
this and
say
that.
created. It literally
What does
doesn't
it-
say created.
What's this say then?
It says reformed. You can ask any Jew. It says to change what is there.
Or
Okay, so
terraform.
if it says reformed or all these things, then why does the Bible then say to create? Why does
Because that
every time I've spoken
I
to
have to
you,
go.
Richard,
I really have to go. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. I'd
Okay.
love to talk to you guys forever. I
Listen.
would.
you come back again.
Absolutely.
Some respect
When
to you all.
you
Thank,
can.
thank you. I'm sorry. I have to go to work.
Thank you, Richard. I
guys
always
have a great
appreciate
day.
talking to you.
You guys have
You
peace.
know, as
Thank
much
you.
Take
as
care,
as,
Richard.
For a minute.
As well, sir.
as
You
as
as
much
well,
as
sir.
I
Don't work too
as
hard.
much as I disagree with Richard, he usually comes with just
Oh, Richard's sound. Richard's great. Fella.
another perspective. You know,
I'm sorry.
another
but
I have to
perspective.
go. You guys have peace.
All right, Richard. All right,
Absolutely.
Richard.
Take care,
Absolutely.
mate.
Don't work too hard, man.
Richard is a believer. I think he's a Christian, isn't he, Doug?
No, he's a theist, but
A
he
theist.
doesn't believe in any particular. He doesn't follow any particular religion, but I would say he follows Christianity.
Christian.
Because
But
that's
Esther,
basically.
that was a great follow up question that you asked, because that is I'll write. So that question that you asked about that specific word, create, that was a question that I would have asked him myself, because like that's the key word. Like, it doesn't say in, most people that do still, what I'm saying, are very religious, especially in Christianity. It says God created the heaven and the earth. So that specific word, just pulling out that specific word, again, like we were talking about earlier, you have to explain why that word was put there. Maybe it was a mistranslation. Maybe it's because it was the way that it was written by this particular individual, the way that they wanted to translate it or put it in there. But that word create is completely different from the word reform. That's not the same thing.
You must understand the word create. Think about the Bible, right? Think about the first chapter, the first verse. It's trying to describe the beginning of the world, how things started, right? I would rather go with the word create than what Richard was trying to say. And I generally don't like this business of trying to...
Richard's referring to the Torah.
All right, not the Bible.
The Bible is an interpretation of the Old Testament, an interpretation of the Torah. The New Testament, I've tried to avoid.
Books of the Bible or the Torah.
Yeah, the New Testament tries to avoid what the Old Testament says, because it is violent and evil, and God was just a horrible git in it. Where Jesus was all love, and that was Jesus. Even though he got up to, I mean, he was crucified for criminal offences, blasphemy, enemy of the state and Rome.
I would love to hear Esther's, as well as yourself, sir, because I always ask this. Okay, so how can I put it in the best terms? So would you all agree that the Bible is the most contradictory book ever written?
It is contradictory.
It
About the
contradicts
most
itself.
contradictory? I don't know, but it is very contradictory.
It
Yes.
contradicts itself without reading it, Mike. The book of Job. The book of
Right.
Job came before Genesis. Was written before Genesis. So there's a contradictory straight there.
No. What do you mean it was written before Genesis? I don't get that. What?
No, he's right. The book of Job was actually written before Genesis.
It was written about a century before Genesis.
Right. The scribes
75 years or something.
The scribes wrote Job before the scribes wrote Job before the book of Genesis was ever written. And it's close to like you said, it's like 75, 80 years old. It's like 75 to 80 years before Genesis. So if you go through the timeline of the Bible, if you read the book of Job, a lot of the stuff that's in the book of Job, it's way before Genesis even happened. You know what I'm saying? Genesis is the only reason Genesis is the beginning book of the Bible, because Genesis means the beginning. But Job was actually written before that. The first story in the Bible technically is Job. So he's absolutely 100% accurate on that point. Absolutely.
I didn't know that.
If you read the stories in Job and then you read Genesis, you'll be like, oh, all of the stuff that happened in Job happened before Genesis.
Oh, wow.
Well before Genesis. Now, mind you, like we were talking about earlier, they didn't have no concept of time, but just going off of the scribes that wrote the actual book and put the text down on paper, that was 75 to 80 years before Genesis, before they even started writing the version of the Bible that we know now.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So look at the comment by Monkey for Banana says, I like that name, Monkey for Banana. Genesis is a compilation of Mesopotamian, Hebrew, and Egyptian mythology. Right. Oh, wow.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
But you have to look at the Torah as well. Was quite bad. That was a bad book as well.
The
Well, you remember me telling you about the Valley of Gehenna?
Yes.
Where they sacrificed their children,
the babies. Mm-hmm.
That was full of atrocities and nonsense as well, and they were atrocious people back then. And Christians can't avoid it. They can't avoid the Old Testament because it's their moral guidance, their moral code that they abide by, comes from
like
that book, so they can't dismiss it.
The Old Testament
that's where the law is. That's where the law is. The testaments. No, sorry, not the testament. Sorry, what am I saying?
The commandments.
There you go. That's the one. The commandments. Mm-hmm.
That's the construct. That's the construct. That's the construct that I was talking about last time. See, it's not. You don't need somebody to write down rules for you. You innately know as a human being, like what's right and what's wrong. I truly believe that. You do not need somebody to tell you shouldn't kill another person. You shouldn't sleep with another, commit adultery and sleep with someone outside of your wife or outside of your husband, in whatever regards you want to put that in. You should not have somebody tell you it's not okay to steal. That's just a construct because of the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, because they was doing so many things that was wrong. They was like, you know what? We gonna write down some rules, and this is what you're gonna have to follow. That's the construct right there. Mm-hmm. And every single, and regardless to what anybody says, every single governmental, societal norm in any country is literally guided by the Ten Commandments. Because like I said the last time, if you study other texts, that pops up in every single text. It may not be word for word, but it's the same thing. It's a construct. Do not do this. Do not do that. And this is how you're supposed to live. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's I mean, and like I said, I can only view it through my prism of what, you know, how I believe it's what I believe interpreted to be. But like everything is formed in that construct because you innately know, like if you're a little kid, you innately know it's not okay to take the toy from it's
Child.
not okay to take the toy from the other child and take it home with you. That's not
Mm-hmm.
right. And you know that's not right. You know that it's not
Mm-hmm.
okay to it's not okay to, you know what I'm saying,
To steal.
kill another person. It's not okay to, if you're married, to go deal with another female, or if you're a female, deal with another man. Like you innately know that.
Mm-hmm.
But that construct is put there, and people try to find. And see, this is a fallacy about the Ten Commandments. And I hate to say this because I know I might get struck by lightning or a bullet at any point.
Not on my watch. Not on my watch.
That is the biggest fallacy in the world, because if you actually read what they're saying, it has nothing to do with living your actual life. Those are just rules. It's kind of like when you grew up and your parents put rules on a refrigerator. You follow these rules right here and everything will be okay. You're going to break most of those rules. The only 3 rules in the 10 Commandments that most people don't break is they try not to kill people. They try not to steal from people. And they try they try not to worship false idols.
Idols.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but they do, don't they? That's the
They
thing.
do. They do.
There's only
but they do though.
2.
They do.
There's 2. Well, morality is inherent. Or that what you were saying about children. That's through parental indoctrination anyway. You know,
right.
You know, and they teach you right from them sort of right from wrong. But original sin is obviously Adam and Eve eating from the tree of knowledge. That's original sin. And where the commandments are concerned, you've got 7 of them is love me, I'm God, love me only, this and that, this and that. But even in the first commandment, God acknowledges other gods, because he says, you know, thou shalt not worship other gods before me.
Gods before me, right?
So
exactly.
So they can't say there's one God and follow them, because God himself has acknowledged the other gods. I mean, he only became the top god because he won a wager with Beelzebub, another god, which made him top god. Covet, that's just a thought crime. I mean, that's just nonsense.
I wanted to ask you, do you think that what you just said kind of intertwines and coincides with what I said earlier about the marketing part of it? And I know it sounds really bad to say that, but like it's literally hundreds of religions, but Christianity is the one religion that's like put on a pedestal that's this high. Like it's the biggest religion around the world. And then it has the different denominations. You got Pentecostal, you got Catholic, you got Baptist, you got your AMEs, like you got all that stuff. But it's like the one religion that's put on this high pedestal. Do you think that coincides with what I was saying earlier about the marketing part of it? Like they market the religion to the world? Because Islam has been around just as long as Christianity.
Well, no, it's
not as long, but you know,
it's about 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even Christianity wasn't the first one. The Church of Jesus Christ was, and that was Jesus's church. when he was alive, and then
Jesus is church.
Right.
there was a couple of others that followed Christ, and then it was Catholicism that followed Christ,
Right.
and then Christianity branched off from then, and then it denominated into the thousands we see
All the
today.
little
And
subsections.
Islam, because Jesus is mentioned in the Quran a number of times, they still
Esther,
go
I said it
by.
the last time.
But what you're saying
I
about
said that to Esther the last time. Like, I studied multiple religions. I was like, and I mentioned the Quran specifically because I have a lot of family and stuff like that you know what I'm saying are, you know what I'm saying, converted to Islamic faith. And I was like, if you read the Quran, like, Jesus is mentioned in the book. He's just not he's not considered the Messiah, the Son of God. He's just another prophet
The prophet.
in their book.
Mr. Mike, have a look at the comment up there. Christianity spread by the sword, not by heaven's marketing department. So that's an answer to your question. You know, you were asking a question about Christianity being.
No, we're talking about the marketing of religion now.
I feel Dean on that. I feel Dean on that. I like that comment. I feel him on that. I'm just
because,
asking the question. Like,
there was a time. There was a time when Christianity was spread by the sword. You were killed. To believe.
Absolutely. Yes. Of course.
Now look at this comment saying Jesus had nothing to do with religion. I beg to differ. Jesus was the start of Christianity, wasn't it? Jesus, the whole idea of Christianity is Jesus. So when you say Thanos, you say Jesus had nothing to do with religion. Nah, I beg to differ.
The first 6 letters in Christianity is Christ.
It's all about Jesus.
I mean, hence the saying that you want to live Christ-like. His name was Jesus Christ. Like, he has a major part to play in religion.
By the way, his name was never Jesus. His name was never Jesus. So think about Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. These are all English names. And if the Bible was originally written in Hebrew, Doug, am I right? Is it Hebrew?
It would have been Hebrew, yeah. It would have been.
So if the scriptures were originally written in Hebrew, there was no way there was a Mark in there. No way there was a John and Paul, and even the name Jesus does not appear in the Hebrew text. I'm not sure what Jesus means or what Jesus, the name of Jesus, what it means in the Hebrew text, but maybe somebody in the chat might help us. But Jesus is a name was coined by by some certain people, and now the name Jesus is popularly known all over the world as the savior of the Christians. But no, that name did not exist.
He's known as a 6-foot, blonde-haired, ripped, blue-eyed guy, Hollywood Jesus. That's who he is. When he would have been around 4.5, 5 foot tall, and brown and Asian looking. But going back to Mike, with your morality, mate, with your morality, it's proven. Morality is inherent. It's proven in Genesis. When Cain murdered Abel, Cain murdered Abel, and he tried to hide the body. Why would he want to hide the body if there was no morality?
It was inherent, wasn't it? Morality is inherent.
He knew he was wrong.
Of course it is. He knew he was wrong. He knew he'd done wrong before the commandments, the morality code of the Christian belief. So
when the serpent told Eve, if you
that's original sin, though.
Okay,
that's not morality. That's original sin.
Okay, original sin, not morality. Okay,
yes, that's the first sin of the Bible.
The first sin and the sin that still touches the world till this day. It's crazy, crazy that someone eating an apple will do all this damage so many years ago. And I don't believe in all that story. It doesn't work for me. I'm not a sinner. I don't need a savior. I did not ask Jesus to come and die. What he did was very pointless and very unnecessary. He shouldn't have bothered, because even after he died, tell me what exactly changed. What exactly? Look at the story of Noah's Ark. So God killed everybody because human beings were flawed. So he wanted to wipe the slate clean and start all over again. And
it would have been a lot nicer if he'd just killed the first two once they sinned. Kill Adam and Eve.
I don't even consider what they did as sin.
No, that's not right.
They ate an apple. All they did was eat an apple. For goodness sake, who kills?
Yeah,
I
the apple was a metaphor. The apple was a metaphor. It was
they
like
ate from the tree of good and evil, the tree of knowledge.
Yeah, you're not supposed to know nothing.
Wait.
Now, hold on, wait.
Listen.
Oh,
No, hang on a second. Just think about this scenario for a second, right? So God creates these two people, right? They're doing their thing. He says, you, both of you, name the animals, dominate, and and then in his clever mind decides, I will create this tree of knowledge, right? The tree of knowledge, and then put it right in the center of the garden. It's the tree of knowledge. You know that if they eat this thing, they will gain knowledge. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with it?
Well, it's like anything.
It goes back to
of Adam and Eve. Every depiction of Adam and Eve, they got a belly button.
It goes back to what we were talking about.
Why did they give him a penis and vagina? Why didn't he just make him smooth like an Action Man or a Barbie doll? Ken and Barbie, they could have called them. Made them smooth. Just one hole for waste. Done.
Mike,
it goes back. I'm sorry, Ms. It goes back to what we were talking about earlier about it's a metaphor because he didn't want them to know what he knew. That's that blind faith. That's when they say that term walk by faith. When you walk by faith, you're blinded. You're just going off of what somebody else is telling you. And then when you actually, like us that's on this live, when you actually like open up a little bit of a level of consciousness and you actually logically think about it, it don't make sense. So when the apple was a metaphor, like, hey, you eat this, you'll know. Like, for example,
you die.
In the text, it says that they were naked and they never knew they were naked. Well, if you're walking around naked and you don't know somebody is naked, what does that make? Blind. You can't see anything.
Okay.
I'm just breaking it down to its most logical terms and just the way that I break things down. Like, you're blind. Like, you don't know that this is naked. You know, like, hey, it's this other thing here and this other thing here, this other person, and I can't see them. And then the minute that y'all eat an apple, your eyes open up and you're like, oh, we got to cover ourselves up. I'm not supposed to see that. It's blind faith. Like, you have to listen to somebody else.
Also, when Adam was banished from the garden, he suddenly bumped into hundreds of people. Where'd they all come from?
So we've got
towns and villages and mini cities. He found them all. Did Adam?
Where
did they all come from?
We've got an apologist in the chat talking about
because
they are all cursed. No, sorry, what was it? Where's that?
You talk to your God in heaven.
The great flood changed the entire ecosystem of the planet. Okay, so no, this is where I want to start. Christianity is a teaching. whether you're good Christians or not, it's up to you. When Jesus
I would
died,
say to
men
I would
no
say to
longer.
Mr. I'm sorry, Esther. I would say to Mr. Thanos again, you have to look at it in the prism of a construct. It is a construct. It is a system and a set of beliefs. That's what a construct is. Like, it's a construct. That's all it is. Is you if you believe it, more power to you. Nobody's telling you not to believe it. Nobody's
Yeah.
telling you to believe it. But it is a construct. It is a system of beliefs, just like government, just like any type of societal norm. Like I said before, the thing about it is you believe what you want to believe. However, when logical questions come up and discussions come up, you have to be able to provide the method to how you came to your conclusion, because there's no way that if you sit down and really study text, you're going to come up with the same conclusions that most of us on this panel are coming up with.
Mm-hmm.
And we all grew up in religion, so it's not like we're saying that it's a bad thing. It's not. That's what
Mm-hmm.
helps get people by. That's what helps get people through life. However, there is a small percentage of us that do have some questions about the specific
Details.
veracity and the details of what you're talking about. Because you can argue with me all day long
Day.
about what you believe, but if I ask you a critical pointed question, you're not going to be able to answer it, because again, like Miss Esther said, it's questions that can't be answered.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be okay with not being able to answer some of these questions. And that's period. And I'm not trying to
Okay.
be rude to Mr. Thanos or nothing like that, but you
Can I
can't
just
say those things and then not back it up with factual evidence. I need evidence. Like Dog said, I need evidence.
Can
So
I go back to the
Doug, you were
flood?
saying, yeah, go on.
You
I'm sorry,
mentioning
Dog.
the flood changed the geology of the world. If you melted all the polar ice caps, took all the snow and the moisture out of the air and put it into the seas worldwide would rise a few meters at most. But don't forget, the flood covered the highest mountain, which, as we know, is Everest, which is almost 70,000 feet. And you got to think as well, up there, it's cold at that height. It's cold. The gravitational pull on the planet would go from 1G up to about 8Gs, I believe. You got them temperatures. You got no air up there. It doesn't make sense, the flood, and that's where did the waters come from? Now this is the thing where they believe of the dome now, of the flat Earth and the dome, which is in the Earth, the four corners of the Earth. So the Earth Earth to the Bible was Minecraft, basically a Minecraft block. But you've got or the Earth stood on four pillars with a dome over it, and they say, oh, it's heavy water in the sky. That's why the sky is blue, and this is their logic thinking back then. Where the Greek theologians were hundreds of years ahead of the people of the Middle East. So they say, oh, the Earth filled with heavy waters from the dome, from above the dome. It's all literal rubbish.
It is. And my thing with the Christian doctrine, when they say Jesus died for your sin, think about it for 1 second. Just stop and think that it's so cruel and so evil to expect that somebody needs to die for you to be able to get some kind of salvation. Some
Well,
blood has to shed for you
it's
to
a hate
get some
group.
kind of salvation. You know, in my opinion, the only good thing what came out of Jesus's dying is at least the animals were spared. Because before Jesus, before the supposed act of Jesus, animals were being slaughtered every day. But Jesus comes around, and now the animals now don't have to suffer. Now Jesus has paid the price, so now animals now are spared. That's the only good thing what came out of the whole Jesus's story. Otherwise,
well, no, you still have halal. You still have halal meat.
True, just true. That is true. That's
halal
true.
meat is the ritual slitting of the throat where the animals die in agony.
Hello, Sydney.
Hi.
What's up, Sydney?
Hello.
Listen, just give me a minute, guys. Just carry on talking. I'm just gonna check on my son.
But it always boils down to the evidence. Now you can say, "Oh, I saw someone speak in tongues. That proves God." No, it doesn't. It proves that someone had an experience and spoke nonsense, because whoever spoke in tongues cannot tell you, and they never have been able to tell you what they said.
Exactly.
I didn't even know I was doing it. They say
nothing good comes. Nothing good comes from the belief in God. Nothing.
That will be That will be the equivalent of the type of church that I grew up in, when they be like, people caught the Holy Ghost and they just start doing random shit and dancing and shit. Excuse my language, I'm sorry. But like, no, like you just felt like you wanted to do some dance and whatever. Like, no, like that has nothing to do with anything. Like, that's not going to convince me that, like, hey, this is what it is. Like, this is the power. This is the power of God. No, it's not. Me personally, like, the power of God is what I say every day when I get up in the morning. I'm good. I'm alive. I'm breathing. That's it. What
happens when you die? Does the power of God die with you?
You say what?
If you're the power of God, for you, when you die, does the power of God die with you?
Absolutely not, because energy always flows.
How's God energy? God is not energy. Energy and God are two different.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. God is an entity. God is a deity.
Entity,
and
God is a concept. God is a concept. No, God is none of that. God is a concept.
No, I know that. Like, listen, I'm not about to sit here and be talking, Miss Esther. No, like, I'm not going to sit here and like try to like defend anything. I'm just telling you what I believe.
Mr. Mike, I think he got you when you said entity. Is the way you said it. I think Sydney thought you said God is an energy.
He did say. He said God is an entity.
No. It's the way he said it. He said an entity.
Yes,
Sydney.
I know.
It's an entity.
Entities exist.
Not energy. Not energy.
I didn't say energy. I said it. I hear you. I heard you. All I can tell you is that entities are things that exist.
No, but then he doesn't believe it actually exists, Sydney.
God?
Yeah,
he doesn't
think that. No, he doesn't think that. No, right, Mr.
So
Mike?
God is.
No,
Am I right?
I don't believe. I think that the way that I said it came off the wrong way. Everything is a type. Everything is a type of energy. So if we're made out of energy, then so is supposedly what God is supposed to be. But God is considered a deity, an entity. It's something that you can't see. You can't see energy, right?
No.
Nonsense.
Yes, you can.
Of course you can.
You can't. You can see, I mean, you can see energy in the physical form, like light.
If you look at a rock,
which is called you can see energy.
Everything.
I'm not saying
has energy.
What I'm saying is that I shouldn't have said entity or deity, so I will correct myself.
Yeah, but Sydney's right. God is a
he's a type
concept.
of
Religion
energy.
is a concept. Religion is an idea.
It's a
That's all
construct.
it
Yes,
is.
I know. It's an idea. I
So you can't
understand.
reify. You
I'm
can't
just
reify ideas into reality. You can't define an idea and say, "Oh well, it's an idea, therefore it exists." It doesn't work that way.
well.
Reality is a
on.
little disappointing, I'm afraid.
Well, hold on. You like? Don't you ever? You don't. My thing is like this is a great conversation. You never had an idea before.
Yeah, but you could have an
ideas,
idea of a
Yeah,
vacuum
but
cleaner
ideas not
Hold on,
always
wait,
good
wait,
and
ones.
wait,
then
wait,
create a
wait,
vacuum cleaner. So
wait,
your
wait,
idea is realistic now, but if you,
but you never had a.
God
This is
will
what I was
always
talking
be an
about.
idea,
This is what
a
I was talking
concept.
about earlier. This is what I was talking about earlier about the marketing thing. I keep going back to this.
Yeah, they're good at selling
Marketing,
God. Modern
marketing is
religion
an
is good at selling
marketing.
God.
Marketing is an idea. So if you have an
Yeah,
idea,
but marketing is an idea. It markets a product. The
can-
product is not. The product is an idea that has become tangible.
Here's
right?
Mike.
But
Mike,
but
God
here's a
is the most
phrase.
again,
intangible thing going.
hold
Here's
on.
a phrase
But
that I coined
listen,
last year.
I
I
agree with
coined this.
I agree with
Go on.
everything you're brother. I agree with everything you're saying. I'm just saying in the logical sense, marketing is an idea. And our idea, if it turns into something tangible, is a form of energy. Do we not agree
We do
that
not.
no, do we not agree that people that believe in people that do still believe
To
are
say that.
going off of an idea? They're going
say
off
that-
of a certain type of energy.
To
I
say
think
that
you're-
Do you
ideas are
understand what I'm saying?
energy. To say
You're
that ideas are
quoting Kant,
energy.
aren't you?
To say that ideas are energy is meaningless because everything is energy.
Okay, so we agree that we agree.
So everything
You're-
is energy.
you're-
I think I see
quoting
where you're
Kant.
coming from, Mr. Mike. I think I
Kant-
see what you're trying to
I
do.
Kant said energy follows thought. So if you think about mowing the lawn, you go and mow the lawn and you create energy
Energy.
by mowing the lawn.
Facts.
But it is a phrase I coined last year. You feel free to use it on your channel. It's my pinned tweet. It says Christianity, well, I think it says religion, doesn't pray for the vulnerable, it preys on them.
Facts.
No,
Just a
the
little-
religious. The religious
Little-
prey on the vulnerable, not religion itself.
The religious, they don't
But
pray
it's
for the
Because
vulnerable.
when it comes to praying and hurting people, it's people who do that.
Yeah, but
Yeah, you
religion
know what I
is
mean,
used-
Sedley.
Religion is
Just a
used
little
as
play
the
on
tool.
words.
But see,
I
Religion-
hear you. I hear you, but we cannot absolve people from following ridiculous religions, and Christianity, for example, is an absolutely absurd religion which people follow, and people commit their atrocities in the name of said religion.
But if you heard me, if you heard me speak before, because obviously I don't know you, but if you heard me speak before,
Right.
my whole thing is that everything is a construct, and once you start questioning the construct, then you get ostracized. It's kind of I get the fact that, you know what I'm saying.
Are you a theist?
Whatever.
You're
Whatever-
talking the
whatever I-
Matrix again,
whatever
though.
I
You're talking
say-
solipsism.
Yeah, is he are you a theist, sir?
No, he isn't. No.
No,
You're
I'm
talking
not.
solipsism, though.
Yeah, I'm
Mike.
not too sure where you're
You're
you
talking
coming
the
from.
Matrix again.
No, that's not the thing. What I'm saying is that the construct of religion is just like everything else. Like I've said before, again, it's a set of rules and regulations
Yes.
that people
Yeah.
have to follow.
It has an infrastructure and a hierarchy. It's
Yeah,
but not-
religion is
Right.
religion is
When I say entity or deity, I'm putting it in terms that maybe someone that is that's engaging in this live stream that may not feel like I do, or that Miss Esther does, or that Dog does, or that you does. I'm putting it in a way that they can understand it.
Understand.
I'm not
Right.
saying that
Right.
I believe that. What I'm
Right.
saying is that
Don't
everything to
assume
me.
people are not as smart as you are.
No,
Some are.
whoa,
Some are
whoa,
not. Some are not.
whoa.
Yeah,
Some
but
are
don't
not.
assume that everybody
Some are
is.
not.
No,
I understand it. I'll
don't.
catch up.
Okay,
Don't worry.
Okay. Okay.
so
Okay.
I'm gonna keep it calm. What I'm gonna do is say this.
Hmm.
I never put words in other people's mouth, and I never
Mm-hmm.
assume
Mm-hmm.
anything. I
Mm.
only can go off of my personal opinion. My personal opinion is not the right opinion. I'm just telling you what's on my mind and what's on my heart at the moment in
Right.
time. All
Right.
I'm saying is that there are people that probably will be listening to this that will be like, "Oh,
Hopefully.
that doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't make sense." But in my personal feeling, I can explain it in a way that is logical and basic. And most
Mm-hmm.
people are not going to understand the intricacies of like the intertwinings of religion. They're not going to understand the intricacies of being able to break down different religions. I
And
do.
I
So
understand you. And
I have to put it
I
in a certain way that people are going to
can
understand that
understand.
listen to
Yes.
Mrs. Esther's live stream. I'm not
Yes.
coming at either one of y'all because I don't subscribe to any
The
religion
religion.
anymore.
Yes.
I'm a spiritual person. I believe in energy. And
Okay.
energy can come in many different forms. So some people don't
Mm-hmm.
understand what it means to like subscribe to energy. They might think about an entity. They might think about a deity. That's what I was trying to get at. I wasn't saying that it was right or it was wrong. I'm just saying that all of those things are still considered in the realm of energy.
And
That's a
I
certain type
understand.
of energy that people subscribe to.
I
You know
understand
what I
where you're
mean?
coming from. Mm-hmm.
I
I
don't quite
understand.
understand it because
I
God is not
apologize.
energy.
Sorry.
God is just a concept.
Yeah, God is a
No,
concept. I agree that
it's
God
definitely
is
a
a
concept.
concept.
I told you I agree with you.
It is a
I agree
concept.
100%.
Yeah.
It's a
God,
concept.
God in
Yeah,
whatever
I
shape
understand
or
it's a
whatever
concept,
name
but
is
it's
a
not energy.
concept.
It's not energy.
So let me change the subject just for a second here.
Hmm.
Blast in the comments said, additionally, right, let me put the comment up here. Additionally, the book of Esther describes the Persian Empire as having 127 provinces, but historians maintain there was no such division of the empire, right? Also, contrary to the book of Esther, historians assure us Xerxes did not order Jews in his territories to attack. So okay, so basically what he was, oh yeah, this is where he started from. The book of Esther proposed, no, is it that one? Yeah, to describe a young Jewish girl named Esther was chosen by the Persian king Xerxes to be queen
Xerxes won.
After he'd been divorced by
There's a
Vashti,
few of them.
although historians know a great deal. Now, this
Mm-hmm.
right here is problematic for me. You know why?
Why?
I was named after this Esther in this book, the Bible.
Well, this
My
book does
name,
come from Persia.
my,
The book of Esther
no,
is a
but my name,
Persian.
but my
I
name
know,
is
but the book of
Esther.
Esther, I know, but the book of Esther does originate, the story does originate out of Persia.
Okay, what I'm trying to say is my name is Esther, right? And I was named by this person called Esther in the Bible, and she did such a great thing. She managed to save the Jews and all this business. And now learning that she never even existed, but here I bear that name. You know, so a lot of people, and this is what religion does to people. People believe it so much so that it guides the life of their everyday life. Name their children after people in the Bible, and turns out Esther, there's no record that she even existed.
There's
And
no,
now,
but Esther, there's no.
now I've got to
there's,
carry on that name, Esther. Oh,
there's no
geez.
commitment for you named Esther to
I don't
lead your
mind.
life
It's
as if
my
you're a
name.
biblical.
It's no, I know. I'm just saying.
What about people named Jason? You know, from Jason and the Argonauts.
No, I was just trying to highlight that comment, you know, talking about Esther. It's funny.
It's a nice
that,
name, by the way.
person would
It's
say
a
that.
very nice
Yeah,
name.
so but then I got to carry on, you know, living my life as an Esther, but just realizing that it's nothing to do with the Esther in the Bible. Nothing at all.
No, you're named after my Jewish aunt Esther.
Oh, okay.
Is it Esther the Torah?
Yes.
I thought you were named after the Torah, Esther.
That's right.
No, about the Esther in the Bible, not in the Torah, the one in the Bible.
Same thing.
No, I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, it is the same thing because the Old Testaments are from the Torah, aren't they?
Yep.
First
the Old
5 books.
Testament are the Torah.
It was the Catholics that wanted the Jews there, that fought the Jews, killed up, well, went after the Jews and the Muslims. They went after them all. Holy Wars. They were the Catholics that started all them, and they continue today. They still hate the Jews.
If it wasn't for the Jews, there wouldn't be Catholics or Christians. I don't see what they have a problem with the Jews for.
May I ask a question?
Well, you got the Bigelow Report of World War II, which shows their involvement with Hitler and the Holocaust.
Yeah.
With the Vatican advising Mussolini to go on Hitler's side. Nazi gold in the vault of the Vatican.
Oh, the Catholics were absolutely Nazi. They were Hitlering all over the place.
They were terrible.
May I ask a question?
Terrible.
Yeah, you were going to ask a question, Mr. Mike. Go on.
What do all of you on the panel feel about the infusion of religion into everyday politics and how we live and how things are constructed in your general areas wherever you are around the world?
Worst decision ever.
Although they say they're not involved in politics, they've got their fingers in every single pie on this planet. They're involved in it.
I only ask because me being from Washington, D.C., born and raised, I follow politics very, very, especially, American politics very, very heavily. And I just always want to know where everybody's mindset is as far as, like, you know, in America, it's supposed to be a separation of church and state.
Church and state.
I definitely believe in that. I follow that.
They get involved with everything. This is I've mentioned this before to Esther. A famous quote from Desmond Tutu, who said, "The missionaries came with their Bibles, and we had the land. We closed our eyes to pray for them. Suddenly, we had the Bibles, and they had the land."
Well, listen, religion is a business, and businesses make profit off the backs of others. That's the only way you can make money, is if other people give you money, or somehow you use their labor in such a way as you can profit off it at the expense of paying the laborer less.
Well, Vatican.
Now, why doesn't the good book of the Bible solve these social issues?
It can't. It can't.
But isn't that the purpose of these damn Bible books? I mean, you know, you'd think there'd be a high purpose for them, but it can't do shit.
It can't.
Well, the Bible can't be used as anything. Can't be used as evidence of God. It can't be
Right.
used
So why
as
elevate the
anything.
Bible to a position of such stature that it's used in law courts as the yardstick to measure morality on by placing your left hand on the Bible? What the hell? What the fuck's
Well,
that all about?
if we didn't have the Bible for people to read in church, we'd have a lot more Pastor Greg Locks spouting his
goodness
hatred
gracious.
about the world. Without this,
Miss
without
Esther, you know what I'm about to say.
Go on. No.
Yeah,
What are you about to say?
It's the construct. It's
Construct.
the construct of everything. It's the
Mm-hmm.
rules, and it's the rules that people want to follow. That's what a majority of people in America really believe that. They really do. Like
Not just in America. Not just in America.
I give
Not
you
just in
not just
America.
America. You're right. Yes, ma'am. You're right. Just like when the young lady, the Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, she is a Muslim. She wanted to do her swearing in on the Quran, and they made a whole big stink about that. I'm like, but that's her religion. That's what she believe in.
Yeah,
Let
there's no
her do what
difference
she
between the
wants to
Quran
do.
and the Bible. Same thing.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, they made such a big deal about it, and then I just was like, hey, listen, if that's what she subscribed to, and that's what shit. Hell, if I ever ran for Congress, I'll swear on the damn dictionary, because I like to read. Like, I don't care about what you putting your hand on a book. Like, it's just something that's
Why swear on
ceremonial.
anything? Just fucking answer the question. I mean, with the swearing on stuff, it doesn't make sense.
You know what? You know what? You're absolutely right, and I 100% agree with you on that. I don't want to put my hand on nothing. I just held my hand up. Yes, I take my oath of office, and then I'm gonna keep on moving. I don't gotta put my hand.
Do you know what they do here in Canada? Do you know how they do that in Canada? You know how they get around that?
How do they do it?
Oh, you're from Canada? Okay.
Do you swear or affirm that you will be telling the whole truth? So you can either swear on the Bible or just affirm by your word.
Right.
So we got to figure it out. Yeah, my atheist country that I love so much has got it all figured out.
I'm sorry.
I know, and let me tell you. I know.
That was my atheist country.
But Sydney, that's the way to go. That's the way to go. Countries need to adopt what your atheist country has got going on, because it is a better, I think people will have a better existence in such countries than countries where people need to swear over Bibles or Qurans or have to be guided by these books, That's
like I said, I think that's something that is more like, it's more in America, it's more ceremonial than anything, but it never made sense to me even when I was young and I was still in the church. Like, I never understood, like, why do you have to do that? Like, you're just repeating words that somebody's like, hey, repeat after me. Just repeat the words. You don't need no book. You don't need any of that. Just make sure that you keep your word about what you're going to do when you get in here, and then we move on from there. Why do we have to have this big ceremony? I'm from DC. I've been to several inaugurations. That is the most pomp and circumstance thing I've ever seen in my life. They shut
spending lots of money.
They shut half of the city down. Yeah. They shut half of the city down. You can't go nowhere. People that actually got to work and do stuff, you can't do nothing because everything is blocked off. It's a checkpoint everywhere. And then we got to wait until 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon for some fool, excuse my language, for some fool to stand up there, put his hand on a book or her hand on the book and say something. I don't care about none of that. Just make sure you're taking care of the people.
Exactly. And
Are
look
you
at
a
look at the
humanist,
That's
comments.
your job.
Look
Mr.
at
Mike?
You know what I
Jordan's.
mean?
Mr. Mike, are you a humanist?
Huh?
Are you a humanist?
Yes, I am. And I said I kind of mentioned this on Miss Esther's last live.
On
Like
last live stream, yes.
I'm about the people. I'm about making sure people are taken care of because I'm a selfless person. I want to make sure everybody else around me is taken care of before I think about myself. I don't care about I don't care about anything else. As long as people are taken care of, and I work
I
in the
have a
hospital.
process. I have a process in mind, an idea.
Hold on.
I have an idea.
Hold on. Let me get it out.
Sure.
I grew. My mom is a chef. My sister is a second generation chef. I'm a third generation chef. We work in the hospitality business, and hospitality means to me, you take care of people like they in your house. I'm always worried about taking care of everybody else. I want everybody to make sure that they are okay, and if they not okay, I have a problem with that.
Yeah, but
So
you know,
yes,
there's a way
yes,
to
I'm
take
a
care of
humanist.
people politically with a humanistic program.
Listen,
Now, what I was
listen.
thinking, this is my wild idea. This is luckily this is free and nobody has to pay for this idea. You know how corruption is a major problem in lots of governments, perhaps in all
Absolutely.
governments. Okay, so here's my idea. My idea is this. Let's say Canada, just for the sake of argument. Canada produces extremely reliable, knowledgeable, professional what are they called? Technocrats for run governments. Okay,
Right.
So let's just take that idea. Canada produces very good people who run governments very, very by the book. So you take a country, a small African country, and I would choose something like the big one in the middle, the worst one, CAR or Chad or whatever the hell they call it, the most corrupt. Take the most corrupt government and replace the government itself, the working parts of government, the ministries and everything, with technocrats.
Mm-hmm.
And let the technocrats run the country like a government should be run without the corruption. Okay, fix the problem. And at the same time, teach the native people there, the indigenous people there, the people who live there, how to run a government. In other words, Canada is a big school of technocracy. And therefore, so this is one example. So all these countries that are corrupt, the United Nations sends in the technocrats to fix it, get rid of the corruption. When America sends money to country X in Africa, instead of the money going to a few people's corrupt pockets, it goes to the programs that it's supposed to be, and everything runs according to the humanistic principles of reaching out and helping other people. Wouldn't that in itself, just getting rid of corruption, okay, in whatever form, but this is the form I would propose, wouldn't that improve everybody's life on this planet? Everybody's life on this planet, except for those who are corrupt.
It would be very nice, but it wouldn't work.
Maybe. I will say maybe, because
it would, but it wouldn't work. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna
corruption.
You're going into another country and changing leadership. There'll be wars and
not
all
leadership.
That
no, I'm not saying leadership
no,
at all.
No.
I'm talking
change their politics, change the way they think.
No.
He's talking specifically politically.
I'm talking politically. I'm talking about economically. The impartiality of running a country, the impartiality of running a business. Okay, you run a business so that everybody's happy and it makes a profit. and customers return and all this kind of stuff. So same way with running a country. There's rules to run a country which kind of keep everything on the level, and the technocrats make it happen. So I'm not talking about the president with his rhetoric. I'm talking about the ministry, the prime minister, and the ministers under him who run the country. And the prime minister is a technocrat whose aim is to politically make the country stronger and provide for the people, all that kind of stuff. And that's their aim, rather than siphon off money that is not meant for them.
Like I said, I would say I agree with you 99%. It's the 1% that I'm worried about. Because
who are the one? Where do the 1% lie?
Hold on, I'm gonna tell you. The 1% is what I'm worried about, because it's always that small percentage of people that don't want anything to change. You understand what I'm saying?
You know what? Yeah, I do understand. It's always that small percentage of people who will drive drunk no matter what the consequences are. Therefore, we should disallow, or we should ban driving. Nobody has a driver's license. All cars are banned as of 12 o'clock this afternoon. That's it. Okay, and that way we will prevent every single drunk driver from ever killing anyone again.
Hold on, but this is the thing. Like I said. Again, I agree with you.
I'm addressing the 1%, just like you are addressing the 1%.
No, I understand. I understand. What I'm saying is that when you're dealing with that small percentage of people, it don't even have to be 1%. It could be 3%, 5%, 8%. It doesn't matter. When you're dealing with that small percentage of people, and I'm just saying this as somebody that's in the US. When you're dealing with that small percentage of people, and I'm just speaking for over here, when you're dealing with that small percentage of people, let's say it's 99%. Let's say it's the 1%, excuse me. They have 99% of the money. They have 99% of the connections. They have 99% of the asset. You have to deal with them. You have to change their mind. If you can't change their mind, corruption is a construct, just like religion, just like government, just like anything else. They are going to stay where they are and do what they do to make sure that they're okay. They're not worried about everybody else. And if you're not worried, hold on, wait, let me finish.
Wow. Okay.
You asked me if I was a human.
What is there more to say that you've already said?
I'm just saying that's them, the people that those are the people that you have to worry about.
Yeah, now you
because the other 99%, as long especially when you go down the percentages. Hey, I grew up. I was in.
Oh, we don't. No. We don't need to hear personal stories.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because that's just hogging time.
To be fair, Sadiq, it's a good idea, but yeah, it won't. You'll just be.
Ideas don't have to work.
We did it in Iraq.
Listen, the God idea doesn't work, so it doesn't have to be a good idea.
Oh, we did it in Iraq.
Whatever idea.
But we had to invade and attack so you can apply the laws there. Change the way they.
Why are you both being so negative?
I think I think it's a good idea, but I don't think it would work.
I'm sorry.
If it would work, it would have been done.
I think that your personal story, like your personal story, I don't have to tell mine because it's a long. But I think your personal story should have a profound effect on how you look at the world. And if you're looking at if you're looking at the world, you asked me if I was a humanist earlier. If I'm looking at the world as a humanist, I agree with basically everything you're saying. I'm giving a counterpoint and the counterpoint is triggering you. I'm not trying to
Is it
say that you're
triggering
wrong.
me? Oh, yeah.
Wait, I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to say you wrong or you right, because I don't have the authority to tell nobody they wrong or they right. I only can speak from where
For
I
yourself.
am and what I do and for myself. But
Mm-hmm.
you can't get mad at you can't cut me off and get mad at me, because not even mad. You can't cut me off and get, you know what I'm saying, irritated with me because I'm trying to tell you like where I'm from and what I've seen and what I've been through. This is how I feel like life should be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is what life should be. Everybody should be taken care of. You're from Canada. I would love to live in Canada. I ain't gotta pay a doctor bill. Really?
In the UK,
I
it's the same.
What do you? Whoa, 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 whoa! You want to come? Hold on. Relax. Shh, calm down. You want to come to Canada so you can get sick?
No, not
That's
to come
not
and
what
get
I
sick,
said,
but
bro.
no.
You're not.
You want to come
listening
to
to what
Canada
I'm
so you get
saying.
sick, if
No.
not,
This
and
is
go
what
to the
you're
doctor so you don't have to pay? That's
No,
crazy.
that's
This
not
what you're doing.
no, that's not what he's trying to
What is
say.
he trying to
No.
say? Okay.
This-
Let's
this-
hear
No,
it.
that's not what he's
Okay,
trying to say.
I'm gonna tell you.
Okay, what's it?
I'm
Okay, let me try another
I'm
one.
sorry,
Let me
Mr.
try
Esther.
another.
I'm
Let
sorry.
me try
I
another
didn't mean
one.
to take over your
Let
life. I'm so
me
sorry.
try another one.
I
Okay.
apologize.
So you live in America.
What I'm trying
You
to
have
say
a
to
very
you,
unhealthy lifestyle and you get sick. Now you want to come to Canada so you
what
can
I'm
get a
trying to, what
doctor
I'm
to
trying,
see you
what
without
I-
having to
what I-
pay for
what
it.
I-
Okay,
what
I'm
I-
just
what I'm
joking.
trying
I'm
to-
just
what I'm
joking,
trying
Mike.
to-
Go ahead.
what I'm trying to say.
Mr. Mike, sorry to cut you off, but then you
I'm sorry,
need to
Mr. Esther.
understand.
My apologies.
Sydney has a sense of humor, and sometimes when he's speaking, don't take it too
Personally.
Yes, it's
I'm
just
not
the way
taking.
he
I'm not.
likes to
Yes, ma'am.
to
I'm not
to
taking it
speak on
personally.
things.
Just
Okay,
wait
all
until
right.
I've totally
I'm
insulted the
just-
hell out of you before you make up your mind.
Sydney, no, Sydney, don't do that, Sydney.
I'm sorry.
I'm not taking it.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Mr. Esther. I'm not taking it personally. I'm just
Okay. All
talking
right.
I'm just talking to this man to man.
Okay,
This
we're
is-
all
this-
we're
this-
all on the same. We're all on
Human
the
to
same
human,
page.
my friend.
Right.
Human to human.
But this is my thing. Where you are, I wish that where I'm from, I wish we was there. If that make any sense to you. I wish we
It
was
makes
there.
no sense to me because I'm not from here.
You know, in the United Kingdom is also we've got free healthcare. I mean, I think it's free at the point of receiving. When you go in the hospital, it's free healthcare, but it comes from people's taxes. It comes from the people putting the money through their income to be able to afford.
I come from an
healthcare.
African country where healthcare was free. So I don't understand.
What country is that?
Where I grew up in South Africa at the time I grew up in.
At the time you grew up, maybe
At
not
the
now.
time I grew up in.
I'm not
if
sure
you
what
show
it is
up
like now.
If you show up at a hospital with whatever it is you got, whether it's a scratch or a broken skull, the treatment is free. So it was free. I don't know what it's like now. I don't really care. I don't live there anymore. So
it'll be the same. I think it's
I just
part of the Commonwealth.
So I cannot relate to the situation that you put me into because I'm not in that situation.
I understand.
The British healthcare is rubbish. Just because it's free doesn't mean to say it's good.
Yeah, but I think
That's
as rubbish as it is, some
but
people
you got to remember.
some people would rather have the rubbish that
But you
we've
got to
got.
remember. But you got to remember where I'm from. If you got to remember where I'm from, if my daughter gets sick, and I can't, you know what I'm saying, be able to provide her with the appropriate amount of insurance or whatever, I'm in the hole for like $10,000.
No way.
Eat apples. Eat apples. Drink the juice.
No
This is the
way.
thing. You got you.
So
This is the thing.
yeah,
Like I'm not trying to stay.
Mark Caesar's
I'm not.
comment says Canada has the healthcare system we should all aspire to have. It's similar
Thank
here in Australia, not as good though. Oh wow. Okay.
Just for
Wow.
other.
My thing is, my thing, my
What I
thing,
mean
my
by
thing is,
rubbish.
my
No,
thing is,
look at this.
see,
Look at this.
where I
Look
come,
at this
where I'm
comment.
from,
Oh
where
shoot!
I'm
Look at
from.
this, Mr. Mike. Sorry, I apologize.
No, I
But
see,
look
I
at this.
saw it. I read it.
I
Yeah,
had
I
an
saw it.
emergency last month. I got shot in the leg and almost bled to death. My medical bills are so what?
$64,000.
Where do you live, Doomver? I want to know where not to go.
This is where I'm from. This is where I'm from.
Oh,
DC.
And I'm not
America.
disrespecting. I'm not trying to be disrespectful or
oh
be
my
sounding like
God.
I'm angry or nothing, but like it make me mad, like because you're supposed to
Wow.
take care of people. Like
Listen,
we
Ohio.
you take a
I'm
bullet
coming
in the
from
leg
Ohio.
if all it takes is a bullet in the leg to defend that Second Amendment, then that's a very small price to pay.
hold on. First of
No.
all, that's not what I. First of all, don't.
Wow.
The one thing we not going to do. The one thing we're not going to do is categorize and everybody. See, I
Wow.
own guns. So what? That don't mean I gotta use them every day. That don't mean
No.
I gotta do stuff every day. The point is like I'm a man. Like my job is to protect and preserve life. And when I see stuff like that where somebody got to pay $64,000
God.
because they got shot in the leg, whether it was
Ooh,
their fault or their own or not, that's ridiculous. Why am
that
I paying
is.
that much? But
Mike, can I
I
just
have a
Mike,
proposal.
can I just
where
ask
y'all
one question?
I have a proposal before you carry on. It's a Sidney Winston proposal, of course. You know how in the military you get a Purple Heart if you're injured in battle? Well, the United States has become a battleground, a battlefield. And if you're injured innocently in the streets in a battle, there should be some kind of a medal devised for people like Doomver here, who essentially deserves a medal for surviving a conflict in battle. If the United States is indeed the battlefield that you all claim it to be, it's time to be a little bit progressive and recognize those who get injured on the battlefield of America.
let me explain. Let me
Over
explain.
to you, Bob, in the studio.
Let me explain something. Let me explain something to you. That's all well and good. Now understand what you're saying, but
Yeah.
what we not going to do today on this morning, afternoon, wherever you at, is what we not going to do is you not going to act like when them people get them medals, they not having hundreds of thousands of dollars of medical bills and they not getting taken care of. That's what we not
Well,
going
they're
to do.
taking care of the government, just like the army guys who get the Purple Hearts are taken care of by the government.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you straight up, and you can say whatever you want. I'm gonna tell you straight up. My father waited for years to get treated for his liver, and my father's not here with me no more. God rest his soul.
Sorry to hear
My
that.
father waited years from
Somebody's got some background. Somebody's got some background.
So where you at, where you from,
Michaela.
they would have taken care of that. They not taking care of that over here. My father couldn't afford to do that. So what we not going to do is you're not going to just lump me in the category where I am somebody that's just an apologist. I'm not.
Nobody's trying to make you feel that way, Mr. Mike. No.
Can I ask you a question now, Mike? Can I ask you a serious question?
Ask
me. You said you want to protect and preserve life, yeah?
Absolutely.
Why do you
supposed to do.
Why do you own guns?
Oh gosh.
Huh?
Why do you own guns?
To protect and preserve life, my family.
Why can't you use a rubber gun or rubber bullet or something different other than lethal?
I don't need that. I can use my hands. I don't care.
No. When you've got a gun or a gun thing, a bullet throwing machine, why do you have to throw lethal bullets? Why can't you throw something that like a pellet or something that might bring the guy down but doesn't kill him?
I can do all of that, and I also can put that metal. I also could put that metal piece of machinery down and use my hands and my feet. My body is a weapon.
Yeah. You're such a Bruce Lee.
Wait, hang on. In a country where nearly everybody.
Oh, you really trying to patronize me right now, bro?
Wait, in a country where nearly everybody has guns, it makes sense to have a gun yourself. But I do not subscribe.
Absolutely.
I do not subscribe to owning.
But why would you? I couldn't imagine.
No, but then Sydney, you're asking him, but he lives in a country where nearly everybody has guns.
I know, but he's not allowed to have a gun. Where he lives in DC, is a no-gun zone. Ask him. Is he allowed to carry a gun?
And his own people.
He cannot carry a gun.
He wouldn't have a gun without the license.
He doesn't have a gun. He can't carry a gun in DC.
Can I explain myself while everybody else is talking? Let me explain myself. First of all, I carry them because where I'm from as a black man in America, where I'm from, you may or may not have to have one of them things on you. Let's get that clear. That's first of all. Second of all,
hold on.
Stop,
that's not an explanation,
bro.
Wait,
bro,
Sydney, let's hear him out.
You're doing the one thing I hate. You're talking because it's free, bro. Like you're just.
I'll have follow-up questions. Okay.
It's less talking and more listening.
Yes,
Second of all,
yes, sir. Mr. Mike.
Like I was saying, I don't need those. I'm a trained martial artist. I can kick. I kickbox. I do taekwondo. I do kung fu. I could beat a motherfucker up with my bare hands. My hands are registered. My legs are registered as lethal weapons. I don't care about using none of. I don't see. Y'all think it's a game. See, you think it's a game, and you want to laugh when somebody telling you something.
I think it's a game when you're trying to say all this kung fu stuff against bullets.
Like literally, I could defend my house with my bare hands. I don't need those. But
are you faster than a bullet? Are you faster than a bullet?
Sydney, hang on. Let him finish.
See, you on games, bro. Like you're on games. You're playing games with me right now. And I'm sorry, Miss Esther. I don't mean to be this way. Like, but I get really mad when people don't try to listen to nobody. See, I've been listening to him, and it's cool. But I'm telling you, I can defend my house with my bare hands. I don't care.
You can. Absolutely, yes, you can.
I do not care. I'm a grown ass man with children out here. I don't have time to be playing with people.
But no disrespect. What you said about the Ten Commandments. What you said about the Ten Commandments, thou shalt not kill, and you said, I don't want to do that. But if you're put in a position where,
first of all,
it's kill or be killed.
First of all, like I told you earlier, dog, that's a construct. Everybody know that you shouldn't kill a person. You shouldn't kill a person.
It makes your view on it. It makes your view on it null and void, doesn't it?
I'm telling you, as a man, where I come from. You think somebody gonna run in my residence and potentially harm my children, harm my animals, harm my lady? No. If I gotta use my hands, if I gotta use a hands, a blade, or a pistol, I'm going to make sure that person don't harm nobody. And if he harm anybody, it's going to be me, because I'm going to be the one at the front door. See, y'all want to play games and keep on talking about, want to get all philosophical
I
on
don't
it.
think
No,
anyone's
I'm
trying to
telling
play
you
games.
what it
No, no, no,
is
no.
It's not.
where
It's
I'm
not
from.
philosophical. It's just what. It's just what you said about the Ten
I'm
Commandments
telling
about
you
thou
what it
shalt not
is where
kill.
I'm from, bro. I'm
Yeah,
telling you
look
where
at
it
the
is where
comments.
I'm
Look
from.
at the comment. Look at the
Yeah,
comment
but
from Mark Caesar
I'm
says,
telling you.
don't bring a karate belt to a gunfight. If the people, everyone's carrying a gun, it only makes sense to have a gun yourself.
And I
I'm
like that
not.
comment. That's cool because
I,
I'm not gonna do that. If I know somebody, if somebody got a gun on them, guess what? I got one too.
exactly.
What?
That's just the way.
That's where I'm from. This is the place where I live. This is
Okay.
the
So,
place where I live.
Mr. Mike,
Don't disrespect me and talk about
Mr. Mike.
all this other stuff when the only thing that I gotta worry about is protecting
your
my
family.
family.
no, I'm not
Okay,
disrespecting you.
I
I'm
got
just
kids
going
in
back
here.
to your views of what you said earlier, and your views now are totally
Now, but
different.
you playing games. You think it's a joke. You think it's funny.
No,
It ain't
not
funny.
at all.
That no. Okay,
Not at all.
can
I'm
I
just going back to what you said earlier to what you're saying now. It's two different views.
Okay. Can I just butt in here and
Yes, ma'am. I'm
just
sorry.
ask every one of us to calm down. And we need to understand that in the US of A, the whole gun thing it's something that is being talked about every day. That's a conversation that it's an ongoing conversation. There's right and there's wrong. There's just I personally don't agree with people having the right to own guns. I live in a country where people don't own guns. No. So, but then I can equally understand where Mr. Mike is coming from. And nobody is trying to play games, Mr. Mike. I think we all live in very different countries and might not understand the situation, might not understand where you're coming from. So I don't want us to take that for granted at all. But on that note, I need to change the subject because I don't want us to talk about anything that would make anyone upset or angry at all.
To be fair, Esther, I think we've within 5 generations there's something going to happen on this planet. We fucked it up too much. We've overpopulated it. The demand for lithium is just destroying the planet. I mean, it's basically fracking for this. It's basically pumping brine, seawater into these rocks, and all this crud and crap comes up, and it's just terrible environmental. I mean, oil is a lot better, but everyone wants electric bikes, electric cars, and electric everything these days.
Is electric not better? Is it better? Is it not better going electric or not electric, but then
renewable electric is renewable
yes.
energy is
renewable
good.
Electric.
But lithium isn't renewable, is it? It's a resource. It's a resource out of the ground. That's basically mined, and there's a demand for it, for batteries, and there's a huge worldwide demand for it. And I think most of these mines are in Africa at the moment. These lithium mines, and it's just basically destroying the planet. It's environmentally bad, just like fracking is. Trump wanted to do his fracking, didn't he? But we banned it. Most countries have banned it. We banned it in the UK because we had it causes earthquakes, all sorts of rubbish. The terrible practices just for fossil fuels. But basically, lithium is basically a fossil fuel. It's dug up like a fossil fuel. Well, it's mined anyway, and the worldwide demand. So I reckon 5 generations, and there'll be something major will happen that'll probably wipe out a lot of this planet. I reckon. Well, that's just my thoughts.
I agree. I agree with you. And we can all do better. We can all do better. But how can we know these things if we don't engage in conversations like what we're having now? If we're
Well,
not
let me
talking
ask. Let me.
about religion and talking about the things that are damaging the world that we live in.
Let's talk about self-defense. Just like I like the Second Amendment thing.
I don't want to talk.
But I want to talk about it in a more benign way. Okay. Let's say again, hypothetically, because if you talk about reality, it makes it difficult to sort of because so many opinions. So hypothetically, let's say the handgun or dynamite or whatever makes the bullets zoom out of the barrel. Let's say that it hadn't been invented. I mean, all we are at is knives. Okay, so we can carry knives on us, right? We can carry pen knives. We can carry, whatever, knives. So let's say all we got is knives, and the Second Amendment is actually regarding knives, and you have a Second Amendment right to carry knives. So everybody carries knives. Now, does that make life, even at this point, so much more or so much less dangerous? Because knives don't go off, accidentally. So if everybody's got armed with a knife, then everybody's safe. And if anybody invades your house, you can defend yourself with your knife. Again, it's hypothetical, but in terms of being able to defend yourself, on a level playing field, and even guns on a level playing field, because you've got a pistol, the guy comes into your house with an assault rifle, you're done. So with a knife, you even got a better chance. So shouldn't the Second Amendment then refer to something like a knife instead of a firearm?
It doesn't refer to firearms, though, does it? It's the right to bear arms.
Yeah, to bear guns.
No, it's not to bear guns, to bear arms.
What is
That's
an
what
arm?
the Second Amendment is.
Is a knife an arm?
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is.
It is. Okay.
Armories in the Dark Ages.
Why is arms
with swords and bows?
And why is the word arms in the Constitution not better defined?
Because it could be. This is a subject that I think
it could be bear arms, fairy bear, like grizzly bear arms.
The Constitution could be changed by the United States political process actually redefining what arms is, or actually defining what arms is, and then adjusting the law accordingly. And if they define arms to be anything up to and including a knife, and nothing after that, then there go your guns. Bye-bye.
I ain't got it.
Politics, Mr. Mike, politics.
And that's the thing. Politics is never an easy conversation to have.
Of course not.
It's never an easy conversation.
But it's not. Always, but politics.
You've got to break your heads. But
politics is ideas. It is ideas. It is ideas, and the very best ideas rise to the top.
Michaela, I haven't heard you speak at all. Is Michaela there?
Yes, I am.
So what about? So
there she is.
Oh, hey, Malika.
Hey,
hi, Michaela.
So I'm from America as well, and I'm like, in the area that he said he's from, I do have to say it is a very rough area. He is right, because I've been to DC before, and here in America, we're always having these conversations about gun safety and all that, but I don't think it is a black or white situation. If you take it away, you're leaving some people defenseless. And if
no, I wasn't having a go at Mike. I wasn't having a go at his area or whatever. I wasn't. I was just mentioning why he has a gun for what he was saying earlier about.
I'm like, I understand what you're saying, but I'm like, but also on the other hand, we have all these things else going on with guns, but I do not think it's a black or white situation.
I just wish they should get rid of all the guns. Something? All the guns, gone.
May I say something?
Please say it.
I think the defense forces, the army, the air force, the border defense forces, the forces that defend the sovereignty of the nation should have guns.
Okay.
No, I was.
Mr.
So,
I just
Mr.
wanted. I
Mike,
just
Mr.
wanted to say
Mike was
one
going to say
thing,
something. Go on, Mr. Mike.
first of all, I apologize, especially to like anybody that was like that's watching, that was, on YouTube and watching the live and stuff like that. Like, I didn't mean to get all animated and things like that.
No,
Like, but
You
I'm
don't need to
I'm
apologize, Mr. Mike. It just
no.
wastes
Hold
there's
on,
no
time,
need to
hold on,
and there's no
apologize.
need
I
for it.
understand. Listen, I'm black. You're black. You're from a very rough area. I'm from Philly. So I
Listen,
understand.
both of you, I know black people, so you don't have to apologize.
Okay,
But
let
we
me
have
stop.
different
Let
issues
me
here in
stop you right.
America.
Yeah, but we
Let
don't
me
care that you're
hold
black or
on.
you're anything. We're talking
It's nothing. Okay.
ideas. We're
Okay.
talking
Hold on.
ideas.
Okay,
Hold
Mr.
on,
Mike.
bro.
Mr.
Hold
Mike,
on.
carry
Hold on.
on. Mr. Mike, just carry on. Let's let him speak.
I'm gonna keep it short and sweet.
Okay.
I apologize for getting a little bit too animated. I'm very, 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 adamant
So
about, saying,
self-critical. Yeah, you're
being a
very self-critical.
man, self-preservation, making sure my family is straight. And I got out of character and I started doing stuff that was not appropriate for a man to do. So I apologize about that. And number two, I appreciate Malika being in the chat because she understands exactly where I'm coming from, and I wasn't trying to cut her off or anything like that. But it's way different for us versus
Mm.
anywhere else in the world because
I
we
understand.
have
I do
a whole.
understand.
No, I know you understand, but I'm just saying, like, the thing that I want to do is have healthy dialogue, and like I say, less talking, more listening. I'll listen to you and I'll talk to you and I'll converse with you, but just like attacking, like we was talking about earlier, just attacking every single point that I'm making. I'm
No,
making valid points.
I wasn't attacking you. I was just
No, 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 no.
saying
I'm not. I'm not.
you
I'm
contradicted
not.
yourself. That was all. I was just
I'm
saying you
not.
contradicted yourself.
I'm not inferring that you were attacking me because you're
Okay.
absolutely
Okay.
right.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not inferring that you were attacking me. I am saying that I agree with you
Right.
because yes, I am a person that will admit when I'm wrong. If I made a contradiction, yes, I contradicted myself. But I
Oh.
was
Oh. Wow.
shouting out
Yes.
Malika because she understands exactly where I was coming from when I
Yes.
was going on my little rant because it's way different over here
Mm.
than it is anywhere else in the
Hmm.
world. Way different. Way
Yeah.
different
And I
because
think
we have
we
to deal with this
appreciate that.
every day.
We
We
appreciate that, Mr. Mike.
you know what I mean? And
We appreciate that.
because if I was being rude, if I was being disrespectful or rude, I apologize. And I know that Miss Esther will kick me off of this joint immediately.
We
Yeah.
But
Here,
I'm trying to make
shot,
the point. I'm
if
trying to
I
make the point.
apology accepted. And
if I shot
Yes,
anyone
ma'am.
in the UK, if I shot anyone who entered my premises and threatened my family, even if I have a license for the gun, I'm going to prison.
absolutely, you are. You are.
I'm going to jail
There's
for
no
shooting them.
there's no two
Shit,
ways about that.
Malika will probably agree. We are too.
Oh, yes, we are. And I'm like, and that's the double standard, isn't it?
Yeah, you can own
Yeah.
the guns, but then it's what you do with the guns. Is what you do. What was it? Mark made there was a statement here, a comment. It says guns don't kill people. People kill people. It's the people
That part.
use the guns to kill people. You know? Oh well.
And we're the only
You know what would
species of
happen?
animal that kill our own.
You know what would
Well,
We're the
happen?
only
Malika might
You know what would happen?
Malika might
Her
agree with
name
me a
her name
little
is
bit.
her name is Michaela.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
Michaela.
so sorry, baby. I'm sorry. My bad.
It's all right.
There's,
It's
there's
all right,
another thing you
what it
gotta
look like.
apologize about. Come on, let's have it. Get it over with.
But you said Michaela, right?
Michaela,
Yes.
yes.
Okay, all right.
Michaela
You
will probably
redeemed.
agree with Michaela will probably agree with me. That's another antiquated statement because I could do something to somebody with a 22 caliber, but if I shoot you with a 50 caliber, it's gonna be different.
Gosh.
It's different.
Oh
I
my
guess,
God!
yeah,
Listen
that
to you
is.
with your guns. Now you're
Well, I'll tell
bragging
you,
about the guns.
I'll tell you what isn't in the Constitution: ammunition.
Oh, here we go.
Ban ammunition. Keep your guns.
No, no,
Well,
Well,
no, no,
China.
no.
let's
Bang
let's
guns,
let's
bang guns.
let's let's get it
Allow
straight, brother.
knives, bang
Hold on,
guns.
hold on. Let's get
There's
it
a whole
straight,
new
brother.
industry, knives, about to open up.
The first of all, the Second Amendment is the most overblown thing in the U.S. Constitution ever. Because if
It
you
is.
read the words, like we was talking about earlier with the text, it's the people against a well-regulated militia, which means people with guns bigger than yours.
That means a militia is a group of people,
We're
not
five.
independent people living
Listen,
in their house with guns. Okay, if that's what you're saying, if it is a militia, then you have to be part of a militia. You can't just be Joe Schmo off the street going in to buy a gun.
look, we're like I think it's like 6
I
or
want you
7%
to
of the
address. I want you
population.
to address the militia issue.
That is again
Are you part of a militia, Mike? Are you part of the
No,
militia?
no,
that
he
is a
isn't. No, he
that is
isn't.
that is a
There's a lot of
again
noise.
No, I
that
think
is a
we should.
that
I think
is
we should
something
say
that is
something about this. Why aren't you part of a militia?
less talking, more listening.
No, you said
That is antiquated.
the Second Amendment
Listen,
allows a
you're not
militia
listening.
to bear arms, and I agree with you. It does say that. However, you're not part of a militia, and you bear
Listen,
arms.
I'm trying to. If you would
If
let me say what I gotta say,
I will do
it
that.
would be. It is a like I said earlier before you got on. It is an antiquated theory. When they wrote that, people were shooting with guns that you had to load and you only had one shot. They never imagined that you would have semi-automatic weapons, stuff like that. That it is it's something that is antiquated, but
right.
a particular political side has said like they interpreted that as you can just have as many guns as you want. That's what they do over here. That's straight up. And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm giving you like literally what they said. They had muskets when they wrote the Constitution. You
That
had to
is
load that
true.
joint one time and shoot it one time and reload it and pack it down. They didn't have semi-automatic weapons,
Automatics
30 round
then.
magazines, nothing like that. It's antiquated. They're just interpreting it as you can have whatever gun you want and it doesn't matter. Everybody does not subscribe to that. I do.
It's quite noisy.
So it doesn't matter what it says. It's antiquated. It does not it does not apply to today's world. If
Okay.
it's an antiquated thing, you can't get mad at people for interpreting it the way that they want to. Whether they interpreted it wrong or right doesn't matter to me. But it's antiquated. Because they was when they wrote it, they didn't have it. There was no AK-47s or
In them
M16s
days.
or AR-15s back in the 1700s when they wrote this. They had muskets. They had to literally have another person load it up, and you can shoot one shot. Now you can pull a trigger and shoot 50 shots.
Okay. So
It's not the same thing.
Can I interrupt here? So I've been going for the last 3 hours and 33 minutes, and I'm going to have to go soon. Now, but Sydney, are you still there? Is Sydney still there?
I'm sorry, Michaela, my bad.
It's all right.
Don't. Is Sydney still there? It looks like Sydney is not there. Sydney, are you there? Sydney? No, Sydney's not there. Okay.
His avatar is still there.
Sorry? What did you say, Mr. Mike?
I said his avatar is still there.
Yeah, it looks like he's outside. I think he's maybe taking his dog outside. So I've been going for the last 3 hours and 33 minutes, and I've got to sort of wind down now, and I'm going to have to close the live stream. So hang on, I think it is Sydney. No, someone's thing is going. Okay. Oh, that was it. Okay, so I'm going to have to go soon, guys. If you're not subscribed, please do subscribe to my channel. Sydney also does. I really love Sydney's channel. He does a lot of these conversations, with people going back and forth.
When she's done ordering, you have to write down the.
I'm trying to mute. Okay, Sydney does a lot of these conversations back and forth, and I was hoping that Sydney could start a live stream and open it up to have this conversation, but I have to run. Sydney, are you there? I don't think Sydney, I don't think he is there, but never mind. Can you guys hear me okay still?
Yes, we can hear you.
You can hear me. Okay. I'm going to have to go. But honestly, it's been a great conversation. When it comes to things like politics, the right to bear arms and guns, these are conversations that they're quite heavy. They are quite heavy, very heavy indeed. And I don't I just don't know where to start with such conversations. And I don't, if you know what I mean, I'm just here. I have no clue about the American laws and how it works and how it doesn't work. And, and I wouldn't want to take for granted, what you're going through or the need to bear arms. Honestly, I'm not here to do that to anyone. So, Mr. Mike.
Yes, ma'am.
I hope you haven't taken any offense at all.
No, not at all. No.
Okay, because it's a conversation which is still ongoing. These are the conversations we need to be having, because in America, you hear about people getting shot every day. Someone is dying because of one gun or another. And these are the conversations that we need to carry on having and carry on talking about. Sometimes the conversations might not be they might not be pleasing, they might not be nice, but they might not make you feel good, but we still need to carry on these conversations, because someone's life might just be saved because we dared to talk about it. And so I want to thank all of you for coming and having the conversation. I'll be back on tomorrow. I will be back on tomorrow because my son, I told you guys, my son's at home because he's in isolation. So no school.
Always a pleasure, Esther. And Mike, honor to meet you, mate. Real good honor. And same with Sydney and Michaela. I enjoyed it today. It was a good conversation.
Yes.
I think we set some things straight. We straightened shit out. That's what I say we did.
Yes.
And as always, Esther, we love you lots, love. You're good.
Mr. Mike, do you have one or two last few words to say before we close this?
Yes, ma'am. I enjoyed the conversation as always. I enjoyed talking to the two brothers. Like, I like a lively, heated debate and everything. And we'll talk again soon. That's all I can say.
Yes. Michaela, is Michaela there?
Yes.
Michaela, did you want to say just a few words before we go?
Yes.
Okay.
It was a lovely conversation, and I look forward to having more. And I heard you're going to be coming on
Okay.
Bar's channel, so I look forward to that as well.
I am coming on Bar's channel, definitely, most definitely, I am. And yes, thank you everyone in the chat. I appreciate you all.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Miss. I'm sorry, Miss Esther. Can I plug something real quick?
Go on, please. Go on.
Yeah. Everybody that was on the live, please go to my people's channel. Let's get to it with E and J. Those my people.
Oh yes, let's get into it with E and J.
Those my people. Like they are super good. They
Your
don't
moderator
they talk
on
about
there,
a lot.
Angie.
Yeah,
And
Your
can
moderator
you
on there.
post a link, or can you post it in the private chat, Mike?
absolutely.
Post a link,
If
and
you can do that, so
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
we
They are
can
good
put
people.
on.
They from my area, and they are, you know what I'm saying, they've been married 20 years. They are like
Oh,
the best
bless
people
your
in the
heart.
world.
Look at you.
You know what I'm saying? Like these are my people. So like I'm trying to make sure that, you know what I'm saying, I get
Promote
people
their
to
channel.
traffic their channel and everything.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
you know what I mean? And I want everybody to go in there and join in on the fun, because it's pretty much uncensored. So you know what I mean?
I do enjoy the conversations what they have. Yes, I do. And sometimes they do talk about religion. I remember them talking about being excommunicated from the what you call it now, Jehovah's Witnesses.
The 7-day Adventist, yeah.
Is it Seventh-day Adventist or one of them? They did
Yeah.
yeah, show on that. That was really really good. If you can put the link in the before I close this live stream. But
Yes,
thank
ma'am.
you all for coming and having the conversation. It is an ongoing conversation, and I'll be back tomorrow. We need to talk, especially
well,
about
yeah,
religion.
next time we'll have Thanos in.
Absolutely.
Sorry, say that again. Thanos.
Well,
Yes,
Thanos wanted to come in,
Thanos.
Yeah, we got to get
Oh,
next
Thanos
time
on
we'll have
there.
him in. That'll be fun.
Thanos. I'll be back tomorrow. Let's talk. I could see some of the things you're talking about, especially he's an apologist, right?
Yeah, talk, not preach.
Oh no preaching on here. No preaching at all. So the channel that you were talking about,
I see what you
Mr.
did
Mike,
there, dog.
is the channel you're talking about is Let's Get Into It with E and J. E and
Yes.
J. Right. Let's get into it with E and J. Fantastic couple. I'm subscribed to them and I enjoy their conversations. So yeah, thank you all very much for coming to spend your time with me. But look out, I'll be back tomorrow and let's carry on the conversation. Thank you all, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye,
Yes, ma'am.
everyone. Bye.
Michaela, check that chat.
Oh yeah, Michaela, check the chat.